Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, January 18th. You can expect sunny skies with a high of about 65. In hour one of today's show, we will talk the latest with the New Orleans Saints and recap LSU basketball's big win. You can follow us on Instagram or Twitter at OTB_ESPN or watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in. OTB Thursday, January 18, 2024. Thank you, Tara. You're the best. Thank you. Sorry I greeted you in such an aggressive morning, this manner.
This morning.
Yeah. We're off to a rip-roaring start.
How about that weather?
Here on Off the Bench. How about that weather? Pretty warm today. It's supposed to be like 50 or 60 or something?
Yeah, don't look now.
Back down to 20? I don't know. Madness. Thank you, Taylor, for this.
Ooh, multiple options.
Yeah, just a bunch of cords and headphones there. Welcome in. OTB. Got a good show planned for you today. Trigger warning for Saints fans in this first segment, as I don't know, I think some of you may get a little upset by it, but we'll break down what Mickey Loomis had to say yesterday as he was explaining why he is sticking with Dennis Allen. And, well, whatever. We'll get into the conversation when we do, because I think there's better ways that he could have handled it in terms of trying to convince you that this was the way forward. And so we'll get into that. But first, do a little welfare check on everybody. How we feeling today, Jake?
Feeling great.
Yeah?
It's, getting closer to the weekend, and
very close. Thursday, basically the weekend.
After traveling for 6 straight weeks, and then last weekend we had 3 soccer games and baseball and basketball. Gross. And so not as crazy this weekend. So looking forward to just like a little bit of a quiet-ish, like as quiet as you can have with 5 children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kinda,
no, I don't. I don't have 5 kids, but I can imagine.
Yeah.
Not very quiet, but still relatively quiet. Relative, right? Everything's relative to your experience. That's why I get a little triggered, or I don't get triggered, but I know a lot of people, and this is natural, like because I feel this as well, but I just don't engage with it. But it's like a lot of people I know will be, okay, so let's say you have your first child. All of a sudden, they're sitting there in judgment of everybody else who doesn't have a child. They're like, oh, get some real problems, right? Then you have 2, and they're sitting there in judgment of everyone who has 1, and they're like, get some real problems. Then you have 3, and the cycle continues. But again, what you fail to realize, or what you're not engaging with, is when we were in that spot, we thought it was hard too. Like even when you didn't have kids, you thought you were busy. You thought you had stuff going on.
Yeah.
And now you look back and you're like, oh, you sweet summer child. With 1 kid, you thought it was so hard. You couldn't sleep. You're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
No. 1 kid now is easy, right? So it's like, again, all life is, as you get older, every step that you take closer to the eventual day in which you die is just a slow but sure adding of responsibilities. Yeah. But like working out, you build those muscles up over time, right? You can't just go bench 400 out the gate. You got to do 225, 275, 315, 350. Then you get to where Jake's at and you're throwing up 405 for reps.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but the point of that is don't be that person that just sits there and, it's okay to sit in personal, like it's okay to engage with a little bit of like, oh man, wistful, like, oh, what it was like back in the day when I had all this time. But don't be that person that's actually like sitting there and judging somebody else for feeling stressed out, because when you were there, you felt stressed out too. Everybody does by wherever you're at in life. It's all relative. That's what I'm getting at.
Somewhat. Yeah, it is. I will say this last weekend we had, staying at friend's house and they were doing this activity, and we just had 3
Yeah.
And I was like,
easy mode.
oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. Because if that's your max, if that's your 350, like let's say your max at 315, and for a time that was 315. Now you get under that bar and you're throwing it up easy mode. 1 plate equals 1 child. So you're actually at what? 4 plates
as y'all know,
is
some
405.
some kids are 2 or 3 plates.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I do get the analogy, and I can appreciate
it.
it.
Sure. So don't let anybody tell you to get some real problems if you're out there listening. Okay?
I don't. Like mine's more of when you do have, multiple children and the multiple sports. And
it's awful.
And then it was Christmas break, makeup games from that, and then some weather stuff. And so Memphis had 3 soccer games last weekend. So this weekend a little bit slower, and enjoy it before we go back on the road to Mobile.
Yep, which I'm looking forward to. Always nice going to the city. How are we feeling, Alondra? What's going on?
I feel good.
Yep. Get some real problems.
I do have to say.
Get some real problems, Alondra.
I don't have any children.
I have no problems.
Jeez.
I do have to say, though, that, like, being close, like, I'm a lot closer to people that have babies now, like, because I'm like getting to that age or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like people around me have babies, and I just can't fathom having to take care of somebody 24/7 like that. Like it like blows my mind.
It is.
I can't fathom it at all.
That's
like,
good,
and then you gotta wake up in the middle of the like. No, I cannot. Like Brittany Rose from 100.7 The Tiger. Like she just had a baby, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow.
But that's the thing, right? Is that there's no way to ever like kind of fully be ready for it.
Yeah.
But also, now if a surprise or something happens, that's all well and good and you deal with it and it's going to be great. But like outside of that, you just, wait till you're ready. Get all your partying out. I don't
really party, but
I spent my 20s actively challenging myself. How drunk could I get every Friday and Saturday night of my entire 20s? Before I finally decided I wanted to rein it in a bit.
How'd it go?
I mean, we pushed, I flew high.
I wish I knew T-Bob back then.
We pushed the limits. It's not wholly different, right?
I was about to jump in and be like, well, Alondra,
it's just
not
as
as
often.
Frequent, but it's still there. That beast still lives inside of him.
Yeah, Party Bob Purple Pants, which is my demon party alter ego, is...
Okay.
He's just suppressed. He's just let out the cage less often.
Okay.
But Taylor, how are you feeling?
Well,
Mike McCarthy, how about it?
I'm happy about it.
I know you are.
This is an uncharacteristically good Jerry Jones move, so I'm going to just hope that this is a sign of things to come. Got an email from Amazon last night. Have a package coming in today that I could not possibly be more excited about.
So you got to wear it tomorrow.
It's supposed to come in tonight. If it doesn't, we'll have to push it back. But all things, if they go according to plan, tomorrow will be the day.
I'm very excited for that. So it sounds like everybody's doing great, guys. Hell yeah. Squad up. All right. Not doing so great are Saints fans, but that's okay. Because Mickey Loomis is he's hitting your biggest fears, your biggest questions head on, and explaining to you why Dennis Allen is the correct coach for the New Orleans Saints. We have this link ready to go, audio here. All right. So I'm using the New Orleans football version. It's a little longer than the other versions, about 1:32. But I like the context here. So here's Mickey Loomis. It's a press availability yesterday.
Bill Belichick. Here's his first 3 seasons: 6-10, 7-9, 7-9. Tom Landry, 0-11, 4-9, 5-8, 4-10, 5-8. Hall of Fame coaches, all of them. Bill Walsh, first year, 2-14. Second year, 6-10. So I think the easy thing to do is just look at the results and say, oh no, we've got to have a change. You got to look beyond that. What are the reasons why we were 9-8 instead of 13-4? And look, it's collective. It's the players. It's the coaches. It's me. It's our personnel staff, our roster. It's variables sometimes that we don't have any control of. And so my assessment is Dennis Allen is a good coach. And again, with Sean Payton, we went 10-6 the first year, but then we were 7-9, 8-8. I heard some of the same noise. But at the time, I knew we had a good football coach. And so I think sometimes the hard thing to do is to be patient and recognize your other shortcomings and get those fixed. And that's what we're doing.
So Jake, I saw you actively recoil as the name Bill Belichick was dropped at the beginning of that bit. Is that your first time hearing it in full?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you listened yesterday or not.
I quote tweeted it and said my dad used to always tell me growing up.
I did see that actually. That's a good. I'm sorry, finish. That's a good tweet.
Do you know why football pants don't have pockets? No place to put all those excuses. And we got Dennis Allen. He was 4-12 and 4-12 and then 0-4 before he got to New Orleans.
So look,
but he forgot to mention that part.
The funny thing is, okay, I think there's two major sins here. First, it's not a strong argument, the one that he's making. And Taylor I'm going to call on Taylor here in a second to give you the reasons why it's not, because he's not even a Saints fan, and he felt so, I guess you felt like somebody was trying to piss on you and tell you it was raining, right? And that injustice, that anger caused Taylor to kind of go into the numbers and see why it's not accurate. So we'll get into that in a second. Also, I think the other thing is here, Jake, there is a way to sell this message. But Loomis, once again, is just showing a fundamental disconnect with his consumer base. Like, comparing Dennis Allen to some of the greatest coaches in NFL history when his own resume is currently one of the worst in history doesn't prove anything. And with how your fans feel about Allen, it's only going to rage. Like, if you want to talk to people, I say talk to them like adults. Like I would, if I was Mickey Loomis, I'd get up there and be like, look, I understand and I know what the numbers are. But if you look around at, let's say like Cleveland, Carolina, some of these other franchises that roll through coaches, they're a discombobulated mess, right? Like they can't really get out of their own way. And I don't, maybe we don't know where the eventual ceiling lies, but we saw improvement from last year to this year, and we think we saw enough improvement to continue forward. Like, yeah, are people still going to be like, whatever, we don't care? Sure, but they're not going to be actively enraged by it. They're not going to be actively angered by it. You're going to at least show that you have some understanding, because what you're telling us now in that clip is that, oh yeah, people thought they sucked, but the decision makers stuck with him and they were proven right. So you're telling us that you view Dennis Allen on the level of Bill Belichick, Landry, Walsh, all of these Hall of Fame coaches, and that he's going to work out to that level. That's just, you're invoking the names of gods for no reason.
He also didn't mention that Bill Belichick took over a 3-13 Browns team.
Well, okay, now invite Taylor in, because Taylor went through every name and why contextually it does not play, because Dennis Allen took over a franchise that was in a good spot.
Yeah, so we'll start with Tom Landry, T-Bob. He did, in fact, go 0-14 his first season. But what he failed to mention was that was the Cowboys' very first season as an NFL franchise. So obviously they were going to suck.
Yeah.
And yes, he did struggle for the first 4 to 5 years. But once he got it figured out, he did not have a losing season for 20 years in a row and won 2 Super Bowls. Dennis Allen on that trajectory? Probably not. Let's go to Bill Walsh. Yep, had a losing season with the 49ers. They went 2-14, but they were 2-14 before he took over. They signed O.J. Simpson that year, traded away their first-round pick. So you have a bad team with no first-round pick that Bill Walsh took over. He goes 2-14, 4-12. But you notice Mickey Loomis stopped after that. That's because in year 3 in San Francisco, Bill Walsh won the damn Super Bowl, wound up winning multiple Super Bowls.
From 4-12 to the Super Bowl winners?
Yeah, he went 2-14, 4-12, 13-3 with a Super Bowl victory. Bill Belichick, and he says, Bill Belichick struggled in Cleveland. Yeah, he did. He did struggle in Cleveland.
And they made
went 11-5 in year 4. But look at what Belichick did his second opportunity as head coach, because that's where Dennis Allen is right now.
Yeah.
He went to New England, a bad New England team. He went 5-11 his first season. Then he didn't have another losing season until 2020 without Tom Brady. Also won the Super Bowl his second season in New England. So what are we doing? How are you going to compare all these coaches? And then you're picking and choosing. You're like, well, it's Landry's first year in the NFL, first year that the Cowboys are a franchise. Bill Walsh, first-time head coach, first-round pick, taking over an awful team. Let's compare Belichick with his first opportunity, but take away the second opportunity he had in New England when he was a lot better. Also, Dennis Allen got worse every year with the Raiders. 4-12, 4-12, 0-4. They fired him halfway through the year. Then he goes 7-10 with the Saints. This year was his best season. Win-loss record was 9-8, and the Saints are worse under Dennis Allen. All three of these coaches, Landry, Bill Walsh, and Belichick. Landry took over a brand new team. Walsh and Belichick took over teams that had the worst record in the league before they took over. The Saints were rolling. They're worse with Dennis Allen. These are awful comparisons. He's trying to, throw a blanket over it, blow smoke in your face, whatever you want. I mean, I understand that we're all poor Saints fans that can't afford free tickets to football games, but it ain't hard to read between the lines here, guys.
That's what I'm saying. It's another, and again, it's funny because I feel like I didn't use this word for years, Jake, but here it is again. This is Mickey Loomis trying to gaslight us a bit, right? I mean, like straight up the definition of trying to just tell us what reality is despite what our eyeballs see. And I don't think it's I don't agree with keeping Allen, but I don't think it's I don't think it's absolutely insane for the reasons I said. Like, if you look at some other franchises that make these quick decisions and roll through, like Baker Mayfield's had like 8 coaches in his career. Like, that's not a good way to run a franchise either. But do that. Don't set the bar for a guy who is currently one of the worst ever. Don't set the bar to be the best ever. Like, you're setting the bar impossibly high.
And Taylor laid it out, but like the seasons before he got to New Orleans, 11-5, 13-3, 13-3, 12-4. The worst season there was 9-8. That's his best season. That was the worst season in New Orleans.
And that was the first season post Drew, right? Was 9-8? Yeah,
in 21. And remember, this isn't like you blew it up. That's the other portion of this that he leaves out. You've tried to hold this together. You have a lot of those same players that were there in that run, a lot of the same assistant coaches. You just had to fire one of them. Same personnel. And you allowed him to go out there and pick his quarterback, handpick his quarterback, who he only had 4 games with in Oakland, right? He had Carson Palmer his first year in Oakland. Then he had Terrell Pryor, and then he had Derek Carr. But he only got 4 games into Derek Carr. So, everybody assumes, he knows him from Oakland, from that season they were there. Kind of. They were there 4 games together. Yeah. And that's who he put all of his faith into and gave all the money to. And, Carr played better down the stretch, but let's don't try to act like it's something that it's not. This is a situation that Dennis Allen took over that was incredibly healthy. And now they're limping.
Like, I know you lost a Hall of Fame quarterback, but it was still healthy in terms of NFL franchises. And look, if I wanted to play devil's advocate, I could argue that your relative health level is still not the worst. Now, you feel very capped because of how inconsistent you were at times this year, but you did finish strong, and you're going to have we think you'll have an easy schedule next year. That remains to be seen, right? Like, at least the combined record of your opponents from this season, if you look forward to next year, I think you have the easiest in the league, or it's like second or third easiest in the NFL. But again, those things can be kind of flawed in terms of projection. But again, I think there's an avenue where Loomis could sell this, but instead of treating people like adults and being reasonable and just explaining things, he comes off as defensive and combative and greater than thou. Yes, smug. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Very smug. And then
chewing the gum.
The gum.
I mean, the chewing the gum.
Now, I kind of like it because from like an ASMR standpoint, I really like how it sounds. But like, I just don't. It's just kind of disrespectful. Like, it's a press conference.
I mean,
when you're talking about silence, like, like getting after it.
And we hadn't even brought in the fact that the way the season ended and Dennis Allen's apologizing to the Falcons and the players and him, they don't look like they're even remotely on the same page. Yeah. Like, so it's multiple things. It's on the field. It's in the locker room. It's past history. It's a lot of things. Now, they've made a move, letting go of their offensive coordinator, but is that going to be enough? And you got rid of the one guy that had been as loyal as anybody to you, Pete Carmichael. Mm-hmm. And you still continue to keep Dennis Allen.
It's, again, I don't, and this is the crazy part. I've thought about it a lot. Like, I can see the argument for giving Allen a third year, but this ain't it. Mick, this ain't it. It's like the third or fourth time you've just gone foot in mouth this season, and it just you're disrespecting your fan base at a time when you need to be galvanizing them. So it's all a bit disappointing. All right, when we get back, don't worry. We got LSU basketball to talk about. We got the Pelicans still to talk about. We can talk about who the Saints may pursue at OC.
Coach McMahon coming on at 8:15.
Nice. Let's
this
go,
morning
dude.
To recap the big win against Ole Miss, ranked Ole Miss team, Mincy.
Oh, man, I got to text him. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he's like, when is Vegas going to start respecting these Rebels?
Yeah, they knew that 15-1 was fake, dude.
Didn't even cover.
When we get back, more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? You already know here on OTB, we love being partnered with local business, and that's why I love partnering up with Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Okay, look, go to GEAUXTommys.com. That's TOMMYS. So go Tommys.com, and you'll see the difference clearly. Multiple decades of experience from Tommy, but it's the customer service that really separates, right? That's why they've 7 years in a row been given the Angie Service Award. That's why they have such good reviews. That's why I tell you, make Tommy's one of your 3 bids for your project, okay? That's how confident I am. Just make him a bid. I'm not saying just go give him the job outright. Make him a bid and let Tommy prove it to you. Go Tommys.com.
We've been doing it for over 20 years. They work in the Baton Rouge area, but throughout Louisiana as well. So no matter where you're listening to us, you can go to that website, gotommys.com, GEAUXTommys.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
the best.
This weekend, we bring you a double dose of NFL games. We start on Saturday at 3:30 with Texans-Ravens. Immediately following that, it's Packers-49ers. Then on Sunday at 2 o'clock, it's Buccaneers-Lions. Then Chiefs-Bills. Catch all the action on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I'm feeling this, Alondra.
They're reuniting.
Who is this?
No doubt.
Oh, they are?
They're reuniting at Coachella.
Okay.
Never had any doubt about that they would reunite.
Beat me to it, Taylor.
Yeah,
Proud of you, bud.
So bad.
Proud of you. It's the first cool thing you've ever done on the show. Congratulations. That is the first thing that
Dude,
I've ever.
I gotta stab
that is
it
the
off.
first
That's a
thing that
low
I've
bar.
ever approved of that you've done on the show. Good job.
I thought you just did a nice job going after Mickey Loomis.
Oh, what? Just talking?
Also, how did you not know who this was?
It was pretty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What?
How'd you not know this was No
How'd
Doubt?
you not
Oh, if I would
know?
have gotten the chorus, I would have gotten it.
Okay.
I could. It was like one of those songs where it's like, ooh, I know I like this
Yeah,
song.
okay.
Like, what song is this? And I like the vibe of it.
Yeah.
Also, guys, you know me in music. Come on now.
I just love No Doubt so much. Like, you know, I don't have Spotify, but on Apple Music, they do the same thing. Like Spotify rap, but they do Apple Music.
Yes. Oh my God. So you have Apple Music as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were the only two people I know in my adult
Heck
life
yeah.
that have Apple
Yes,
Music.
let's go.
Air Bump.
Air
But
Bump.
Why?
they're always in my top artists.
Because everybody judges if you don't have Spotify.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
judge so
I've
bad.
had Apple
I'm
forever.
not. Chill out.
Forever.
I'm saying. I'm just wondering how. Like, how do you get led down that road?
Because I had
when
it forever and I
everybody
just
else
stayed with it.
went this other direction, how did you end up in Apple
'Cause
Music?
I'm not a
Yeah.
sheep.
Yeah.
When did you? Okay, chill out.
I don't follow the crowd.
I more mean like I thought Apple Music as an app came out after Spotify.
But if you already had,
But you had, like, iTunes
your
or whatever.
iTunes, then it stayed the same. It never changed. You still have the songs that you bought in 2008.
See, I guess it
Yeah.
was like once I signed up for Spotify, it was like within my iTunes library was basically it meant nothing to me because like any of the songs I wanted to listen to, I could also listen to on Spotify because now I don't own any of it. You know,
Yeah.
we don't own anything nowadays. You just pay money to rent and license stuff constantly.
Yeah.
But functionally, for me, it's still like I could listen to whatever I wanted to listen to.
I don't have either Spotify or Apple Music.
No, I mean,
Wait, or
No
is it
surprise.
you that has Pandora? Or was
No,
that Mario?
that was Mario. I
No,
do.
he
I
listens
do.
to
What?
I do the YouTube music.
Okay.
That's what I do.
I know a couple people on that.
Yeah.
More than I do Apple Music.
Wow.
Does anybody
well.
do Tidal?
I don't even know what
I
that
don't
is.
even know what that is.
There's the old Jay-Z service they were trying to get going.
Is that still a
back in the
thing?
day? I don't think it is. TIDAL? No.
Nah, I don't know. I never got on that.
Well,
Again, not a sheep.
Amazon Music, the GOAT, says watch him out. Seems okay.
That's
so
the
you
only
know what?
place you can find Garth Brooks.
It's the only place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's the lamest thing about the streaming wars.
Yeah.
Are some of your favorite stuff getting caught up in bidding wars and then them trying to make you pay for it. Not unlike the NFL doing this Peacock game, which was a resounding success. And so now we're all
27
suckers.
million?
Yeah, or 24, I think, or 23.
Or 24.7. There was a 7 in there somewhere.
The main thing is it was 6% larger than a game that was completely free last year on normal television. And so you get what your actions get you.
But that's what T-Bob, but that's where we are in life, like you just mentioned. Like, how many services do you pay per month for because you're
many.
intrigued and you want to New Orleans football, great service. You pay for it because it's quality and it's worth it.
Yeah, and well, that's actually one that I think there's like worse examples of that for me because that's one that I use very consistently. There's probably there's fringe streaming stuff that I've paid for at a time and completely forgotten about that I'm still paying for.
I mean, what would you pay for Pro Football Focus per month for how much you and I watch film and look at coverages and fronts and different things? And so it just depends on what its value is to you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So when it gets annoying is I don't really have any reason to want Peacock. I don't watch the EPL. If I did, I'd have it and it'd be awesome. And then I'd be like, oh, hey, put an info game on there. It gets annoying when you want to listen to Garth Brooks and so you got to sign up for Amazon, or you want to watch the NFL games, so you got to sign up for Peacock. but we're going to get more of that going forward as we just proved to the NFL that they can do that, and it works. I heard NBC paid $110 million for that game alone. What?
But when you have 20-something million people watching it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it.
Sure,
I get it.
Worth the investment.
And even if they don't make the money on the front end, just in terms of pure signups.
Yeah, because there's going to be people, that sign up, and like all of us, we just either forget to cancel it or we're too lazy to cancel it.
Yeah, or you're like, I already paid for it, might as well check it out. And then a month later, you forget. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the play.
Maybe you wake up at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning and you roll around and you watching the Merseyside Derby and you're watching Everton beat up on Liverpool.
Maybe so.
That's a dream. But if they did that, then maybe you fall in love with the beautiful game and then you keep Peacock,
I mean, I think I think that's literally the business plan, right? You onboard them, you give them a little taste, and then you hope they keep coming back for more. So good on you, Peacock. You done did it. Potential OC replacements for the New Orleans Saints. I don't really care too much about the names quite yet. Like, we can get into names as time goes on. The Saints have requested 3 coaches to interview. They want to interview Bengals quarterback coach Tom Pitcher, who, look, I mean, Jake Browning and Joe Burrow, both pretty good. They want to interview Rams quarterback coach Zach Robinson and the Seahawks OC Shane Waldron. And, we can dive into those names and see what we feel about them. I think the more interesting thing is kind of, Jake, how it's going to be somewhat difficult to attract talent at that position right now, given the kind of current stench of death hanging around Dennis Allen, right? Like, it's not hard to surmise that next year is a make or break year for this current regime. And so if you are a big-time OC candidate, is this where you choose to take your shot? It doesn't mean it can't work. I'm just saying I think the Saints are going to have to take a shot at someone. They're not necessarily going to get someone who a bunch of other teams want as well, because why would this be a more attractive landing spot than others? I mean, you do have weapons, to be fair. I guess you do have a lot of young weapons to work with, and you should think that you should be able to have success with Derek Carr. I mean, I guess old boy's doing it with Geno Smith out there in Seattle, so it's not all negative. I just mean you got to be willing to risk the idea that you could come down here for 1 year, and if it doesn't go right, then you could be back on the road.
It's a good point, and some of the different names you threw out there. By the way, you're really getting up there when Zach Robinson was drafted 2 years after me into the NFL, and now he's in a position where he's potentially going to be an OC. He was passing game coordinator for the Rams as well, not just quarterback's coach. He's only known the Rams. You know what I'm saying? That's the only. So you could look at that however you want to. It could be a positive, a good way, negative, whatever.
I could see the positivity there for sure. I mean, we've said we wanted to bring the Saints into the modern era from a philosophy standpoint. Well, Sean McVay's been at the fore of the modern era, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And even taking a bad roster this year and being able, I say a bad roster on paper, and then being able to go out there and be highly competitive and almost win a playoff game where you're playing against one of the best teams in the NFL. So, again, we'll get into the names once maybe it gets a little bit closer, but that's just one of the names. And he was with Sean McVay for the last, 4 years. So somebody that I would think is certainly learned a lot under that offensive staff.
Kind of exciting.
He started as an assistant quarterback coach, went to receivers coach, and then went back to quarterbacks. And then this year, as I mentioned, pass game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. So,
okay. I'd be interested to see if what he could get out of Derek Carr. I mean, making Derek Carr is the key to all of this. You're invested. You're pot committed at this point. It is if everybody wants to retain their job and you want to win, that is what you have to make work. So you have to try to find the guy that you think can most unlock that.
I think you also have to find someone with a personality to know that the head coach is a defensive head coach, and sometimes that brings a little bit more conservative game plan. And whoever you bring in, I'm sure Pete Carmichael had the ability to kind of do whatever he wanted because him and Dennis Allen coached together. They were, assistant coaches together. He had been there so long. You just have to make sure if you're bringing in somebody that's 36, 37 years old, that you allow them to be them and be basically the head coach of the offense, and you don't try to meddle and suggest. And what is it you always say about Coach Miles? When you get on the headset?
Oh, he used to say things like, if it were me, I'd run it here. Which, like, what are you saying, dude? You know? I mean, it's not you. But you're telling me to do this. Like, come on. Let's not beat around the bush. At least do me the favor of just saying run it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like again, don't try to, let's not pretend like what's like this is anything but what it is. So
honestly, I would if I'm a Saints fan, I would want somebody with a resume that could stand up and challenge Dennis Allen a little bit. I'm not saying challenge him like go in there and argue with him. I'm talking about just challenge his thought process and is like, oh man, okay, I know this guy knows what he's doing. He's a veteran guy. He's an alpha. I'm going to let him be the head coach of the offense.
Yeah.
If you bring in a young guy, maybe that can mess up the dynamic. It can be exciting as well. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's one way to do this, but just defensive head coaches, they are a little bit different 95% of the time.
I mean, yeah, why did he – yes. Go look at the decisions that he's made offensively. I mean, if you look at something like Dalton and Winston, a lot of that was about Dalton was going to play very mistake-free, solid football, where Winston's volatility didn't sound like, no, I can't handle that. Hey, remember on Off the Bench, we got a brand new sponsor that we're absolutely obsessed with and really honored to be partnered with, and that is because they are the largest industrial contractor in the nation, y'all. I'm talking about the MMR Group right here out of Baton Rouge. If you go tour the campus, it's unbelievable. And look, whether you are just beginning your career, you're a seasoned pro, or you're a student kind of looking for some direction, explore what the MMR Group can offer you. The campus is really stunning. I mean, like I'm talking, Jake, like a full-scale basketball camp, gym with like classes that you could take every day. Because like the bottom line is at MMR Group, they want their employees to be happy and to feel motivated and feel good and proud. And that's because MMR is people-focused. They're not selling a product. They're selling a service. What defines a service? The people. The culture is great. And they're going to take you all over the world, quite literally. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, go to mmrgrp.com. Apply now, mmrgrp.com. All right, when we get back, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowes.com for details.
After further review with Matt Moscona, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Glow Resources, complete employer solutions. GlowResources.com.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. We'll recap LSU and Ole Miss from the PMAC and chat with Chris Blair, the LSU Sports Radio Network. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB.
See, we mentioned we're going to the Senior Bowl next weekend and spending a week down there in Mobile for the game.
Yeah.
The coaching staff just got announced for the national and American team. A familiar name going to be the defensive coordinator for the national team.
Kelvin Shepard?
Durante Jones.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. He was great. He was actually really good when they let him run his defense. They hamstrung him for a while there. But when Coach O finally let him do his thing after the bye week, they finished damn strong.
Almost beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, they
on a
shut
team
down
that was
Bryce Young.
21.5-point dogs.
They shut down that Alabama offense, which is crazy because the Alabama offense was really good that year. I mean, he won the Heisman that year.
Yeah, that was the year they had, first-round receivers still all over the place.
You know what? I was just thinking back to Loomis Sound. You know what the other really dumb part about it is? He really thought he was going to bust out this info like it was the ace of spades. Like it was the ultimate trump card, you know? He was like that old Yu-Gi-Oh meme, like, ha, 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 you activated my trap card. He was like, I was prepared for this. Ha, ha.
Actually,
Belichick, Landry. Like, what?
Actually, Mickey Loomis did say those exact words. Like,
No,
I was prepared for this
that's
question.
what I'm saying. Like, he really was like, ha, ha, joke's on you, fool. I knew you were going to attempt to ask me about Dennis
Yeah,
Allen.
no, the fact that he's like, I was prepared for this question. I was like, well, Mickey, I was prepared for your answer, bud. Like, you can do your homework,
for
but
sure.
let's do the homework correctly and not just fill in
I
the
wasn't
answers.
prepared for that answer. I was prepared for him to be prepared for the question. I had no idea he would invoke the names of literal football gods.
Well, so when he
DA.
mentioned Tom Landry's first year in Dallas, that immediately clicked for me, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that was their first year as a franchise.
No, but didn't he go Bill Belichick off the rip? I mean, wasn't Belichick the first name that came out?
Yeah, Belichick was first.
I mean, kind of set up like, what?
That's just crazy to me.
Yeah. No, Alondra even in the text yesterday was like, I mean, comparing Belichick and DA is wild. I mean, that is out there.
I wish they would have had a camera facing the media. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like when he said Bill Belichick, like people go back and then he says Tom Landry and then they go back another way and then just like
It's like
whiplash.
the gif of the guy blinking his eyes. Like,
yes.
I can't say it on the radio or do it on the radio, but
Yeah, no, it's the best.
Yeah.
Blinking white guy gif's the absolute best.
Yeah.
He used to be a member of a video game podcast that I still listen to, but that I've listened to for well over 10 years. And, they were kind of big on the internet, a little kind of corner of the internet, and then that thing just went absolutely massive. The internet's weird how that works. But that's a top 5 GIF of all time. Blinking white guy is. I just don't know. Yeah, and the funny part is, Jake, as the media's reacting, I wonder if Loomis is thinking like, yeah, get him. Yeah, look at that. They're also amazed. They weren't prepared for that.
I feel like he really thought he was doing something.
No,
what he
for
didn't
sure.
know was that
He
Taylor
did.
was gonna spend an hour crunching numbers.
Crunching numbers. That's what Taylor said.
I sat there in the
Crunching
studio,
the
T-Bob at LSU, fuming in pregame, just angrily typing at my computer.
Why do we
mad.
call it crunching numbers?
I don't know.
Where does the crunch come from? Is that from our analog past? It's
I
something
think
to do with an
maybe.
abacus?
Well, because think about it. If you crunch something, it gets smaller. So if you look at the entire data and bring it into a smaller portion, you're crunching down the
it
total
down.
number.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe.
I could see that as a potential etymology of the phrase.
I mean, I could be completely wrong. It just kind of makes sense.
It refers to the process of carefully analyzing and calculating numerical data in order to make informed decisions or draw conclusions.
It kind of feels like that.
Spot on.
Taking wide swaths of data and making them more, trying to pick out the important parts and making them more palatable, easier to understand, more effective in terms of lessons that could be learned.
Does Taylor have to talk like Napoleon Dynamite all day tomorrow too?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Gosh.
Freaking idiots.
Yes, we're going to need to get some Napoleon Dynamite clips and stuff and ready to roll as well. That's Taylor talking about Mickey Loomis.
Idiot.
John O'Shea says Tiger's going to poach any of these Bama players or what? I don't know. I'm not really worried about it, though. I kind of like a lot where LSU's roster is at. I mean, sure, I think you need to add DBs if you can. You need to add DTs if you can. But I've seen this sentiment a few times about it. I just wish LSU gets some. I don't really care. I just wish Alabama keeps losing guys. I want them to lose more, and I want them to lose more after that, and then I want them to lose more after that, and then guess what? I want them to lose more after that. I am loving this current news cycle. And I mean, the group text is just on fire. They are just whinging and moaning about how broken college football is right now. And it is so deeply, deeply funny to me because you never heard that a year ago. You never heard that too. You never heard that any time before right now.
Yeah, and not to have, like, there's some people out there that have a little bit too much little brother energy, I think. And so, like, I'm not celebrating it that way, but just it is.
I am.
Okay, well, that's fine. More than one way to skin a cat. But, like, for me, it's, yeah, like, welcome to what everybody else deals with.
Yeah. That's my point.
That's what it is.
That's my point is, again, yeah, I'll tell you, I have all the little brother energy for these fans that have been talking all this noise for all these years.
Yeah, but you're not out
I'm
there
gonna hit him in the nuts.
rolling Toomer's corner.
No. But but again, that's kind of
jumping up
between
and down
Saban and like, yeah, respect for the man, screw the fan. All right, when we get back, close out hour one of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to K2Z Window Coverings. If you want window coverings at wow, KTOZBlinds.com. They are your experts, man. Starter home, dream home, whatever it is. You're trying to take it to the next level, make it your home that you love. You want K to Z. And maybe you're the interior designer, maybe your significant other is. Whoever really likes that stuff, a great gift for them would be to set up a visit with Brandon Barton from K to Z and have them come out to your home, and you are going to be floored. You're going to be windowed by the amount of information that Brandon's going to give you. It's both functional and aesthetic, right? So if you need like blackout curtains, not only going to look nice, it's going to work great. K to Z window coverings, KTOZBlinds.com.
I think it's you're going to be draped with happiness.
Oh, There we go.
I think maybe that's
Much
something
better.
we can
Much
ballpark
better.
around there. KTZBlinds.com, KTZBlinds.com. Have them come out today. Quick process, KTZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Great cigars, the good life. Check them out online, DonJuanCigarBar.com.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado. Or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you.
See your Super Chevy dealers today.
For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Did you get a new truck?
Yeah.
Did you lift it?
Duh.
You could take the boy out of Broadmoor. You gotta take the Broadmoor out the boy. Where'd you get it done?
Alpha Customs.
What else did they do?
Put new rims on it.
What else did you get?
Tires.
Is that all?
No.
What else did they do?
Tinted the windows.
Where are they?
Caroline Highway in Prairieville and Lafayette.
Are they online?
Of course.
What's that web address?
alphacustoms.net.
Hey fellas, it's Gordy Rush inviting you to get your hair cut where me and my boys get our hair cut, Sport Clips. Sport Clips specializes in hair care for men and boys in a sports-themed environment with Guy Smart stylists. Sport Clips is known for their MVP treatment, a precision haircut, massaging shampoo, the hot towel, and relaxing neck and shoulder massage every time. Now 6 locations in Baton Rouge, including my hometown of Central. Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. If you get home at night and you're just wiped out, you don't have the energy or the motivation to get to the gym. If you are in the gym and you aren't seeing results, maybe you don't sleep great at night, you could need hormone replacement therapy. It's safe, it's affordable, and it's at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. A simple blood test can let you know if you can change the way you feel every day. Learn more online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Respect isn't something that's just given, it's earned. It comes from having experience and possessing knowledge that can be passed on to the next generation. Jim's Firearms.
Cut through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. The latest on the Saints OC search, and we'll recap LSU Ole Miss and hoops and Pels Hornets. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Sorry, we're going to be only a couple minutes here to close out hour 1, and then coming up hour 2, let's open talking some basketball. And then we got Coach Matt McMahon coming on at 8:15 as your LSU Fighting Tigers now 3-1 after beating Ole Miss. Never trailed in the second half. Big ranked win. Also, the Pellies getting a couple of good tidbits of news yesterday as Amazon has bought the Diamond Sports Group, which is the ownership group behind Bally and whatnot, meaning that these games will now be allowed to be streamed on Amazon. I tried last night, though, and it didn't work. Maybe it was just too soon. Maybe the news has been announced and not put into place. I'll continue to report back. Remember this Friday, though, for the Pelicans against the Suns, that's one of the WVUE games. So that is a game, I think in New Orleans, like Fox 8. I'm not sure if it's Fox here. Like I'll figure that out as well.
So that map is in yesterday's document, if you can pull that up. Obviously not right now, but come back to it in the show you exactly where you should, be tuning in to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be different in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette.
Again, the first game on the station, which we didn't even talk about happening, right? It didn't have a ton of fanfare. It did a 7.4 rating, whereas the average Bally's game is like a 1.5, 1.6. So we're talking about nearly a 7x here, boys. And this one should be even bigger as your 5th seeded New Orleans Pelicans take on the Phoenix Suns. I think it's in the blender. Am I wrong here? We'll look it up. Ton of basketball coming up, hour 2. Keep it locked, OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Also, we do have to make fun of Alabama because they're starting to lose some good players, and I love it. And we didn't even talk about Cam Ward in Miami, so we'll get to that as well. RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. You want to feel younger like you used to? Well, guess what? I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 20-something, male, female. Rejuve me, we fight the untreated effects of aging. So don't go quietly into that good night. Go rip-roaring, benching 405 and feeling good, dude. Maybe HRTs for you, maybe some glutide, maybe B vitamin shots, anything. Go check them out. Get that compensation day, Rejuve Me Medical.
What's your bench?
Bro, 445, dog. Where you at?
Ain't no way you can do that right now. Unless you went to Rejuve Me or RejuveMeMedical.com. Go to RejuveMeMedical.com to get your consultation set up today.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, January 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of about 64. In hour 2 of today's show, we talk with LSU men's basketball coach Matt McMahon, and we discuss the New Orleans Pelicans. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo!
Like something's on fire.
What's that smell? Is it smoky in here?
Yeah.
Wait, no,
Oh,
it literally smells like something's on fire.
Yeah, no.
Like somebody, let somebody go
It
check on
definitely
this.
does.
I'll be right back.
Also, why is it so smoky in here?
Is it smoky in here?
It looks very hazy from where I'm at, and it is.
No, it does smell like smoke.
There is
for
a
sure.
distinct fire smell.
Like very distinct.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Somebody, y'all go. This is very odd. Okay, I guess I'll just keep doing radio. Are serious? Stop, drop, and
Does
roll.
someone like turn the heater on maybe? Or is that like too fire smell? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it the heater?
Cade, turn the heater on.
It is like
No,
it's
that's
like
a
hazy.
serious
It is like
smell.
hazy in
Okay,
here.
I
That's
don't see
a
haze, but I
that's
definitely
a
smell
burning smell. Okay.
it.
Well,
For a second there, I was like, "What do we do?"
I know. I was like, dude, I like it. Like, why is an alarm going off? Should we step out the room? I thought maybe a lower
my
floor was
concern
on
was
fire.
An electrical fire.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you can't see like
You can't stop
yeah,
a battery fire.
right?
Like you're just take it.
Like
we
we
have
would
a fire
definitely-
escape right here, so we were ready.
We were ready, but like, what if something just exploded?
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
kind of
where I
wondering
go.
too.
Like
yeah,
I go
yeah,
worst
yeah.
scenario ASAP.
Well, I
No,
mean,
Jake was
it's
Jake
like,
was
you
in the
know,
hallway and was like, "It smells like it's burning." And Cade was like, "Yeah, that was me."
I have like that stack of propane tanks in my office too, so I immediately became concerned about those.
You have propane tanks in your office?
Yeah, I got like 10 to 12
I feel
of
like
them.
that's not.
Where? I collect and refurbish propane tanks. No, I don't know. I'm making this all up, guys.
I was
don't
about to
have
say
any
you
I was like,
refurbish.
that's the farthest T-Bob thing in the world. Like, what?
I literally was like,
I'm not even going to tell you where
Why
my
even
mind
bring
went.
them
It wasn't
here?
to sell them. It was to like illegally do something.
You thought I was just huffing gas?
I don't know. I mean, we're talking about during the break. Sometimes when
Wow.
you've tried everything,
Y'all
you got to
seen
go
The Office.
outside the lines a little bit.
Admittedly, tomorrow we're planning on cleaning up, hanging some stuff up, but like, where in the world would I store 10 to 12 propane tanks that y'all wouldn't be able
why
to
you would
see?
bring them up the stairs like that.
My mind went to your other office too. I don't even know why. We're not talking about your other office, but
Mark 65MC says, "I love the smell of a heater being turned on for the first time in
No.
winter." I do too.
not
actually.
when you have this much equipment that
Also,
could be on fire.
it was significantly colder the last 3 days than today. Why was it just now turned on?
Also
well,
true.
because nobody else came to work but us, and
Fair
so
enough.
we didn't
That's a
turn
good
the
point
heater
because I
on.
was like, it was like what 19 yesterday morning. It's like 50 right now.
Yeah.
There's just so much equipment in here that I just went to electrical fire and
Me
I went
too.
to explosion and like.
I agree. My mind was doing the same thing. You could tell as I was tripping over my words. Well, that was a
didn't like that.
Please, welcome to hour
exciting
2.
event. Welcome, hour 2 of OTB. We're gonna talk some basketball.
I like that me and T looked at each other, kind of like we
Well,
both
'cause the
smell
smell
it.
was
and
distinct.
and there's
It
a
took me a
haze
while
over on
to
our
smell
side. There's
distinct.
not on that side. So I was like,
I didn't smell it.
one
until,
of our
I could see
computers
the haze.
is on fire. Was mine.
Yeah.
I didn't smell it until Jake opened the door, like to the hallway, and then I started smelling it.
Well, we made it, so we're live,
still here, guys.
We
Whoever
survived.
tried to get us, you didn't.
Cade tried to set us on fire, but we
I
made it.
know.
So we're,
Hunt, I was just kidding about the baseball piping jokes, man.
I thought Hunt liked the pipe. He said the uniforms are finally near perfect, right?
Yeah, but he wouldn't give over to them being perfect. Like, come on, man.
Well, if you're perfect, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing left for you. So I don't.
Which
hate
is okay. They call that utopia.
How about this, dude? One school we have not given love to but we should. The Tulane Greenway in terms of the transfer portal. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I've been meaning to mention this, and so I just didn't want to forget to mention it again. But Willie Fritz out at Tulane, John Sumrall in. Now, Sumrall was kicking ass at Troy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't remember what their final record was this last year, but for a while there, they were near Washington for, like, fighting for, like, longest win streak in the entire country. Like, he's been very good over there. Look at this portal class, and this was from 2 days ago, I believe, the 16th, so maybe there's been news and I haven't looked at it since, but they go and they get Ty Thompson, a 6'4 QB 3-star out of Oregon. They get Jalen Geiger, a cornerback from Kentucky. They snag a couple Temple players. Where are the other big ones here? They get Chaz Preston, 4-star out of Alabama, to come play wide receiver for him. And then they get Mario Williams, a 4-star receiver out of USC, to come down.
And both in some services at a high school were 5 stars.
Yeah.
Not composite, but they were on some services.
Well, and these are 4 stars in the portal. These are guys that are judged as 4 stars after whatever they've been reevaluated in college. But the point is,
I mean, Ty Thompson was one of the top players in the country coming out of Oregon.
Was he really?
Position. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bo Nix transferred there. That's not Thompson's fault. Like, Thompson can play.
Yeah, and Dante Moore.
He can play.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just wanted to give John Sumrall some love because Willie Fritz got it going, but John Sumrall seems very well positioned. Not just keep it going, but maybe even take it to a different, I'd say different level. It's going to be real hard
to keep up the same,
to achieve a Sugar Bowl victory or anything like that in the new 12-team playoff era. Like, that's probably impossible.
Yeah, but they certainly can be that 12th team.
But, I mean, I think they should,
they were there for a bulk of this year until they got beat in the championship.
They'll be fighting for AAC championship, again, like, and year in and year out, I would believe. And I wonder, I can't help but wonder, as Willie Fritz leaves you for money, if you have these Tulane boosters who have kind of been galvanized by the last couple of years. Like, okay, all right. Well, guess what? We gonna take advantage of this NIL. We're Tulane. We got money. Like, we got big money boosters. It's just a matter of, can the head man in charge create that belief? And Sumrall's appearing to do that very well.
Well, you know why they're going there, right?
No.
They want to win a national championship.
Is that what Sumrall said?
Sumrall said, we're going to make the playoff and we're going to win it. So, I mean, if you want to win a natty.
That's one of those things where it could go either way. If you're like Coach Mulkey and you're like super realistic about things, well, that's one way to do it. But there's plenty of other successful coaches who kind of operate under the belief that you have to believe that. Like, the old, in my 7th grade science class, the poster said, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land amongst the stars. Like, so there are, which not really, the stars are way farther away. You're just floating in the blackness of space forever until you die. But don't miss the moon is the point. But you probably can in normal life. Go for it. Think championship. And, in theory, that should make you as good as you're supposed to be. Although, no, I find it, I don't think any of us think that Tulane's going to go through a 12-team playoff and win the Natty. I would love if in like 3 years you somehow come back and clip this. Like, I told you. Like, look at that. Everybody was wrong. It'd be awesome if it happened. It'd be an incredible story. It'd be the greatest mascot/logo to ever win a national championship if they were to. So shout out Tulane, though. John Sumrall and company getting it done.
Yeah, that's just because UC Irvine. Did UC Irvine win a baseball? Because if they did, they're the anteaters, and so
maybe not.
We'd have to put that up to a vote.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Chanticleers is pretty strong to be clear. I did like that one quite a bit. Speaking of New Orleans, let's talk LSU men's to set up Coach McMahon next. So last night in the PMAC, in front of a sparse but growing crowd. The students showed up. The rest of the PMAC was still a bit empty. But again, I'm not one of the people that's going to sit here in judgment. I think you have to create that interest. And I think that's what Matt McMahon and this team is doing right now. You know what I think it's like, Jake? In Castaway, when Tom Hanks is so desperately trying to create fire and he's just rubbing the sticks and he's rubbing the sticks and he's rubbing the sticks. And then he finally gets a little smoke, finally gets a little spark. And that's where LSU's at right now. Got a little spark. Got a little spark after last night. Beat Ole Miss 89-80, never trail in the second half. It's a win over a ranked team. It's 3-1 in the SEC when you won 2 SEC games all of last year. And it's just some stellar performances. I mean, Jordan Wright was incredible. 25 points, 7 boards, 7 steals, 5 assists. Jalen Cook gets it going for 13 in the second half. But the most impressive part to me, it's a lot like how I view the Garrett Nussmeier Bowl game, where situationally, my favorite part of the game last night is you have the really solid second half beginning. You jump out of the big lead, but then late in the game, it's starting to evaporate.
Got 66-60, I believe.
Yes, there was one sequence. I can't remember the exact score, but there was one sequence where you had 2 brutally bad possessions in a row. Bad turnovers. And one in which you just fell right into a trap. The other in which was just a very ill-advised spin move, ball handling mistake when you were trying to waste clock. All of a sudden, Ole Miss is only down 5. You've had 2 awful possessions in a row. And what else you do then? They stayed calm. Full court press is on. They break the press. They work the ball. They work the entirety of the shot clock. And then they find, is it Ryan Williams? Jalen Williams? What's the freshman?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. Of course. It's always Mike Williams. What am I talking about? It's sports.
Mike Williams the third.
It's always Mike Williams.
Yeah.
There's been 18 great athletes that are named Mike Williams in my life. They find Mike Williams in the corner, 1 second left on the shot clock. Really, really solid look. And the freshman knocks it down. You go back up 8. And you still have to make some plays down the stretch. But like essentially that was the game-winning play. So to me, to have the 2 bad possessions, to have them come back all the way within 5, and to weather that and put together such a solid possession right afterwards, that spoke a lot to me about mental toughness. And okay, I can get behind a team that's scrappy and tough, and that's what this LSU basketball team appears to be.
And that's what you wanted to see. You wanted to see them go in the right direction. Like, we know the challenges that Matt McMahon had when he took this job. He knew the challenges that he had. You and I both went to that press conference the day he was hired, and he didn't shy away from those. And, last year was bad, and he'll be the first to tell you, right? I saw him in Destin at the spring meetings, and I was like, hey, Coach, you showed some life here. You did some things here down the stretch. He goes, no. Last year was bad. Like, he stopped me. He's like, no. We have to be better. I think we can be if we do A, B, and C. And they haven't done A, B, and C yet, but they've done A. They're trying to get over on B and C because they're heading in the right direction. And it was fun to watch them last night. It was actually good to see some energy back inside the PMAC for a men's basketball game. It is an Ole Miss team that, weren't quite sure, 15-1, but still 15-1 is 15-1.
Hey, yeah, I ain't gonna look a gift horse in the mouth.
No,
it's a hell of a win for this program.
Not at all. And actually, like you said, T, you didn't try. Like, you dominated the game.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Like, you ended up winning almost by double digits, but like anytime they got close, you pulled away from them. So outside of going to one of the most difficult places in the country to play in at Auburn, you've won all your SEC games. And there was a stretch in the middle of that game where it got away from you. You could never get it back on the road there. That's a very tough place to play. Maybe you're not
they still
ready.
Played Auburn pretty well.
Yeah, you're not ready probably for that.
Yeah.
But you're ready to go out there and win some big basketball games. And it was just good to see some excitement back in men's basketball because, as we know, like, this is a sport that when they get rolling, it's one of the ones that fans support the most.
All right, coming up next, let's talk to the head man, Coach Matt McMahon, here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Get Gordon and get it done. New jingle. You're welcome. That's free. G. 225-888-8880. Get it done. Any area code, then 888-8888. And you have somebody who's going to fight for you and stand up to the big insurance companies and get you what you deserve when you get in an accident. You like pickleball? You hear about this?
Yes, I did.
A little pickleball center coming from your friends at Gordon McCurdy Insurance. If you want to learn more about it, head over to social media at Get Gordon. Gordon himself explains it all.
Yep.
So, somebody's going to fight for you. Pickleball, your favorite athletes, interviews with the G team. It's all there for you. GetGordon.com.
What they're doing in their courtroom, getgordon.com. You can find it all there. Cases they can handle for you in the community. Social media, at Get Gordon is going to be the handle on all major social media. Pick up the phone today. Call them any area code in Louisiana. Follow by 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at Relief Windows.
Santa Griff joined me and Jimmy out for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch. We're at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar and Town Square Pizza. Dwayne Colucci is with us along with Matt Humans. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Tad and y'all, welcome back, OTB. And now it's time once again to talk to the head man of LSU basketball. We just talked about last night's game. What a win it was. LSU knocking off a ranked Ole Miss team. Coach McMahon, what's going on? How are we feeling this morning, man? That had to be pretty gratifying last night.
Yeah, great morning. I appreciate you having me. Just thought our guys really competed at a high level and sustained it for 40 minutes. And the thing I'm most excited about, T-Bob, we just keep getting better.
Yep.
I mean, the progress we've made over the last month has been phenomenal, and our players deserve all the credit. They've been terrific.
Well, and I want to get into like some of the individual performances. I want to ask you about the defense and everything, but I want first take me into what to me was the moment of the game, right, where Ole Miss is going on a bit of a run, sub 2 minutes. There were the two bad back-to-back possessions where you turn it over and get to them 5, which I know is like infuriating, right? So that's like at that moment, it feels like, oh man, everything's really right on the edge of snowballing. And the next possession that your offense put together, calmly breaking the press, working the ball around, using the entirety of the shot clock, and then giving Mike Williams a really good look, and then the freshman knocking it down. Like, that was a moment where it's like, okay, yes, that's a great play, but how proud were you of the mental toughness shown to be able to kind of look that momentum in the face and just put a stop to it?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Was definitely the play of the game. And it's one of the things I love about Mike Williams is his mental toughness. Just a great competitor. And if you remember about a minute before that, for some reason he tried to dunk a basketball that he had no chance of dunking. It would have been like me going in to dunk it. And just needed to lay the ball in there. But to his credit, and we talk about it all the time, you move on to the next play, and man, what a huge shot. Jalen Cook, great job. He got trapped there and made the right read, and then Mike stepped up and knocked down a huge shot to make it a 3-possession game.
Coach, last year we saw you down in Destin at the SEC spring meetings, and I remember we were trying to like give you an attaboy for how hard the team played at the back end, and you're like, no, stop. You're like, no, we have to get better. And you even mentioned, you're like, I know where it needs to be, and I'll know also when we're heading in that direction and we're taking strides to get to where we need to be. Do you feel like your team has done that now, and you can see them getting to the direction that you kind of planned whenever you take this job and also after you have your first year?
Yeah, most definitely, and obviously there's a long, long way to go here. We're just 4 games into the 18-game run of SEC play, but really feel like we're starting to have a true team. I think we're playing with great toughness. I feel like we're a lot more connected on the floor. Guys are really playing with great unselfishness, and I think playing extremely hard. And I talked about that after the game. I think the fans, that's what they want to see. They want to see guys playing with unselfishness, toughness, and play for each other and take great pride in representing that LSU jersey. And so we've been able to build on that over the last month and need to continue moving forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. We actually just talked about that last segment as well, this idea of like, okay, if you're a team where it's not going to be like just overwhelming dominance, it's not going to be winning every time out, but if you're a team that's going to go out there and you're going to fight, and you're going to put on, you're going to do the best to your ability, and whatever. Some days maybe it won't work out. That's fine. But, like, that's a product that people can believe in. And it's interesting, Coach, because it feels like you've been rubbing these sticks together, right? And now finally the smoke's starting, a little spark starting to gain some momentum. I know the PMAC's not where you want it to be quite yet, but did you start to feel some of that build last night?
Well, I think so, especially in the second half. I thought, the guys played at a high level. I mean, he scored 54 points in the second half. I thought the crowd got energized. There was almost 2,000 students there, which I think we can continue to grow. And I thought it was really good. I thought for us, losing sucks, but a huge moment for us was at Auburn when we were down 28. And could have folded up the tent there and got beat 40. And guys, the leadership from Jordan Wright, Trey Hannibal, we go on a 21-2 run. We get it to single digits twice and gave ourselves a chance to cut it to 5. And again, I hate to lose, but I thought the guys really found out about themselves as a team in that moment. And it carried over to practice Monday and Tuesday and then last night's win.
That's a great point, Coach. And you mentioned Jordan Wright there. I mean, the stat line last night, borderline absurd. Efficient, over 50% from the field, 25 points, 7 boards, 7 steals, 5 assists, doing a little bit of it all. What can you say about his performance?
Yeah, I think what Kent, the legendary Kent Lowe told me after the game, the first time since 2000 that an LSU player had a 20-plus point game with 5 or more rebounds, steals, and assists.
Damn.
So, he was awesome and really did it in big moments too. But it can't say enough about his defense. And if you go back and you watch Jordan in his time at Vanderbilt and look at the commitment he's made to his body this year, he's playing much quicker. He's in the best shape of his life. I mean, he has 40 steals. He's at the top of the SEC in steals. He's just been phenomenal, especially over the last month. He's really taken his offensive efficiency to another level. But that was a terrific performance.
Coach, now obviously you've had a lot of great guards play for you over the years, and to see Jalen Cook be able to go out there and give you that as well, great guard play, and him having to sit there and watch. And I don't know what his attitude was personally from the outside looking in, but it looked like he was still heavily involved in the team. And then finally he gets his opportunity, and it does feel like he has brought something to this team that y'all were missing without him.
It's changed our team completely. We're able to play more at the pace I'd always envisioned us playing here. We're able to play very up-tempo. You don't have to run a set play every trip down the court because he can make plays and your ball screen offense, and it just spreads the floor out for everybody else. And I think a big key last night, he's gotten a lot better defensively over the last month as well. So, yeah, it was no doubt that's been a huge addition to our team, and excited about what he's going to be able to do as he continues to get into better and better game shape.
Coach McMahon, I know after the game you talked about how proud you were of the defensive effort, and if you look at the second half, I mean, y'all shoot well over 50%. I want to say Ole Miss was somewhere around like 37%.
32.
32%. Wow, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you the 5.
Yeah.
But
well, if we wouldn't have fouled him 50 times, it would have been an easier win. But yeah, no, I thought the defensive effort fantastic. We were really concerned coming in. Ole Miss was top 10 in the country in 3-point shooting, over 40%, and so to hold them to 25% from behind the line, and a couple of them were really, after the game was decided there in the last minute. So I thought our guys really competed on that end of the floor.
Yeah, and then late in the game, too, doing a great job of not allowing those 3-point looks, making them into drivers, forcing them to finish around the rim. Here's another interesting stat that I'm sure has to make a coach very happy, and it comes from Sheldon Mickles, where I think for the first portion of the game, y'all were like 14 of 21 from line, but 9 of 10 over the final 32 seconds as you're closing that game out. How much emphasis do you put on those high leverage moments when things are really decided in the final few minutes?
I think it's important, and we've made some mistakes there, but able to finish it off at the free throw line. But you try and create that pressure, and so guys are used to it. And as you guys remember back in your playing days, the coach's two best friends are the bench and then the baseline for running. So we do a lot of free throws at the end of practice. And if you miss, the whole team runs, and it puts you in that pressure situation. And I think our guys have done a great job closing out games at the free throw line.
Coach, certainly want to talk about, you mentioned a couple of players there and who were big last night, but one off the bench, Ward coming in and hitting 3 3-pointers, and your team shot it incredibly well. 48% last night. Like, when you get that off of the bench and you get 15 minutes where you can knock down those shots, obviously it's going to help you win a lot of basketball games. But being ready for that moment, as you know, like, that's not easy to come in and be able to have that kind of efficiency behind the arc.
Well, it's huge for us too, Jake, because I was thrilled with our 2-0 start in SEC play, but we were 9 of 40 from 3 in those first 2 games. 23%. So thankful to win them. But now, that's not going to sustain over the course of the season. So you look at Tyrell now, 10 of 18, over 50% from 3 and league play. And it spaces the floor for it makes everybody's life easier when you have guys shooting at a high level like Tyrell is right now.
Coach Matt McMahon, your Tigers currently 3-1 in the SEC, already eclipsing last year's conference win total, just playing with confidence. Getting better. Go support this
big win
team.
Coming up. A&M. Go.
I was going to say.
Yeah, go pack the PMAC.
A&M at home.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock this Saturday. It's a great time. Look, you're indoors. Stay. Get in from the cold and watch. Look, watch a team that's going to fight its ass off, man. And it's been a ton of fun to watch. Thank you so much for waking up with us after a late night, Coach.
I appreciate it so much, fellas. We'll see you Saturday at 3.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Coach Matt McMahon. Pack the PMAC this Saturday at 3. Again, I will never tell anyone. Well, first off, whatever. I'll never tell anyone to do with their free time anyway. Like it's you. You do you. You do whatever you want to do. But I am not someone who thinks that you should choose to spend your money on time or something if it's a subpar product. Like I don't. I'm not going to yell at you to go to Saints games just cause, or to go wherever just cause. And so, yeah, I didn't. We kind of ignored basketball last year. But you also want to give credit where credit's due. And this team is earning your eyeballs. It's earning some of your attention. And if you want to have some fun on Saturday, maybe it's earning you going and watching them play 3 p.m. this Saturday. It's going to be great. All right. Coming up next, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Also, ToyotaBatonRouge.com is the website. You can go look at the deals. You can get an All-Star Toyota. Whether you're buying new, certified used vehicle, you're leasing, whatever the case may be, great deals all the time you can check out online. But I want to talk about the All-Star Toyota Service Center, where if you get in an accident, insurance claims are welcome. You need a body shop, a little checkup, all makes and models welcome at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Free professional estimate, great lines of communication, quality work, obviously, right?
Duh.
Factory parts right there. And the shuttle service, the rental cars, cheaper per day rental prices, traditional rental companies. And if you mention OTB, Jake, and T-Bob, not only do you help out the show, but you get $100 towards your deductible. So you want to help the boys? Go into All-Star, mention Off the Bench.
Any name, any of the nicknames that we've given T-Bob, just mention any of
Party
those.
Bob Purple Pants.
Yes, I'd
Maybe
actually appreciate
will
you
work. I
to
don't
do
know.
that one. Go to allstar20batonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink, or a warm meal.
This weekend, we bring you a double dose of NFL games. We start on Saturday at 3:30 with Texans-Ravens. Immediately following that, it's Packers-49ers. Then on Sunday at 2 o'clock, it's Buccaneers-Lions. Then Chiefs-Bills. Catch all the action on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back. Sorry, I was going to start a show, but I kind of like cranberry, so I was just going to...
Minus the kinda.
Yeah, let it roll for a minute. What a unique voice. Excellent build here, too.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I love a good build.
Yeah, Wheezy said it best. I'm just picturing a video of like a montage of like sweeping shots of like confused Cowboys fans, and they're cross-dissolving with one another, and they're just trying to make sense of Mike McCarthy still being the head coach. Why does it all keep going so wrong? This deep in angst. Charlotte Taylor, it's not an invitation for you to defend McCarthy and his wonky eye, because we're talking
don't
Pelicans.
Turn on that. Don't turn on that.
Because we're talking Pelicans right here. Because last night was a great basketball night. And I'm guessing that the LSU women's basketball team is going to keep it rolling tonight. But last night, the New Orleans Pelicans, a couple good pieces of news on the Pelicans front. First off, just dominate the Hornets, right? In a battle for the B, Pelicans win 132-112. Brandon Ingram's third career triple-double, 28, 10, and 10. Even more excitingly, Jordan Hawkins, another big game for the rookie. He goes 6 of 9 from three, 6 of 9, 21 points. And, well, for the second time this season, the Pelicans set a franchise record for threes in a game. Back in December, they hit 22 against San Antonio. Suck it, Alondra.
We're not going to talk about it.
Last night, they hit 25 threes for a brand new franchise record. 52% from three. And what I love and why I'm spending so much time highlighting this, because this is what the Pelicans missed for years. Yeah. For years. They just had no consistent outside shooting. And it was at a time when the rest of the NBA realized, oh, wait, no, you have to have everybody that can shoot. And so it was so frustrating watching teams like the Kings and others around you start to rocket past you just because they started prioritizing shooting over everything. Now, this Pelicans team has done a pretty damn good job, I would say. And this is a credit to Trajan Langdon. It's a credit to Griff. It's a credit to Willie Green and how he gets his team to play. They've done a pretty good job of maintaining things like toughness. With Zion, they still have the ability to score in the paint. With Jonas Valanciunas, they have one of the best rim protector, tough, still has offensive skill, big guys in the entire NBA. But now finally, they got a bunch of guys who can shoot surrounding on the outside. And maybe not, they don't have to be one of the best, but they finally look like a modern NBA team, only they still score high where other teams do not, with a Valanciunas, with a Zion Williamson, and then the mid-range game of like a Brandon Ingram. And that's why you're now seeing them win at a more consistent clip than we've. Again, this feels the most sustainable that I've ever seen the Pelicans look.
Yes.
Doesn't feel like the heater. This feels like they can be good and actually carry this good throughout the rest of this NBA season.
Yeah, they're really finding their identity, finding out who they are. I mean, you move on from Kyra Lewis yesterday. You trade him to the Raptors because you realize like there's not a spot.
Oh, I missed that yesterday.
Yeah, there's not a spot. And you just get cash considerations back. You actually give up a draft
Classic
choice,
CC.
too. Well, so you could, obviously he's got a big salary being a lottery pick, and so you can get under the luxury tax threshold, and then now you also can maybe potentially make some moves yourself if you want to, rim protector, something that they're looking at. But like he didn't have a role in this team. Like the basketball has kind of changed, right? And his skill set wasn't going to match with this team because you are finding out that identity. And during the NBA draft process, like Taylor and I and Mario as well, like we were like, if you can get Jordan Hawkins, like you got to get him.
Yeah.
You have to get Jordan Hawkins. He's a proven winner. He just won a national championship. He can spread the floor. He can knock down shots, and that's exactly what you need. And oftentimes that doesn't happen. Like the guy that you want mocked to your team, like he never ends up there. But they knew what they needed. They drafted him, and he's been even more so. I mean, I can't even act like I thought that he would be playing this much and having this much success and scoring the numbers that he is. But you knew it was something that you needed. And like you look at last night, like you got 11 threes from Murphy and Hawkins. Like you got 11 threes from those two players, right? And so it takes pressure off everybody. And then BI's hitting 7 threes himself, but like CJ doesn't have to hit 7 threes for you to go out there and have an offensive explosion. And everybody shot the ball well last night, but Murphy and Hawkins, they give you something that you desperately needed. And with Trey Murphy's injury history, like unfortunately, like maybe sometimes you can't count on that as much.
And it's like these
but you
guys
have another guy that can if he's not able to go.
Yeah, and so those are your elite shooters, right? But I feel like even like a Herb Jones, if I had to guess, is probably around 35% on the year. Like Jonas has had his moments. You mentioned CJ. Like they actually
38.8%.
Okay,
this year.
so he's creeping up near 40, and we all know if you have 40, that's elite. Like 40 is what you're looking for. So wow, credit. God, the guy's so good. So I guess the point of this is, yes, again, they now have a team where nobody's awful at shooting. So you have to kind of respect everybody's ability to knock one down. And then you have a couple of elite shooters, one who looks like he could be a consistent NBA All-Star potentially if he reaches his full potential, Trey Murphy, and the guy Jordan Hawkins, who knows what his full potential is because he's just been mind-blowing at times this year when he hasn't been in the G League. He's gonna have Hawkins back.
God, like those couple of days, I'm like, Willie, what you doing, bro? What you doing,
Taylor, I know you love the. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it's a great point you make. That now you have guys that you have to respect, and they're knocking down shots, and also like it changes Zion's role. Like, can Zion take a game over? He can, but you look at last night, he only had 13 points, but he had 3 steals, he had 9 assists.
Well, and that's when and that's also I think it was Hawkins after the game that talked about this, how good of a job Zion and Brandon Ingram do, and he specifically used this term, and I love it, but how they use their gravity to create for shooters, and called Z one of the best passing big men in the entire NBA, and that's been what they've been missing, right? Okay, you want to collapse on Zion, who's the most dominant paint scorer in the league and the best finisher around the rim in the league. Okay, well, if you collapse, now you're in trouble. You have to make them pay. It's the classic push-pull, the spacing, all these concepts that are nothing new, right? They've been around for probably almost a decade now in terms of being the meta, but the Pelicans are finally now just getting on meta. Taylor, I know you love the NBA. What do you want to? What's your take here?
I think Brandon Ingram needed this game. He had struggled a lot coming into this game. You go look at his shooting percentage over the last 5 games. It was down. To have 28 points. And then to Jake's point, Trey Murphy and Jordan Hawkins, they should be your first 2 guys off the bench, I think, every single game. I think that they have earned that this year. Trey Murphy, we know, can play good defense. Hawkins is still young. That defense is going to come around. When you have 2 shooters like that off the bench, that's not something that a lot of teams can say. I love Jose Alvarado. I think he brings a lot of energy to this team. I think he's great defensively. But when you need offense, it's got to be Murphy and Hawkins. I think they deserve more minutes over anybody coming off that bench. Now, Nance as well, so that he could spell a Jones, a Valanciunas, get somebody in the middle. But as far as the guard play, Murphy and Hawkins, they just need to continue to get more minutes.
Yeah, but I do love that you have options now where if you think you need to get a little more defensive or you need a spark and Jose's probably what I would imagine low 30s from a three-point percentage, like 34.
Jose's kind of fallen out of the rotation lately.
Yeah, I know, which rightfully so. Look, rightfully so. But what all I mean is like I like the depth of this team because not only is it going to help if you do get some injuries, which knock on wood, you never know with the Pelicans. But it helps in that regard, but it also helps because, again, you kind of have multiple answers depending on whatever the night is calling for that night. So exciting times, man. Exciting times for your New Orleans Pelicans. Right now, 5th in the West at 25-17, a full game ahead of the Kings.
Last point here on Jose. I know he's not getting minutes. I know there's a lot of times where he doesn't even get off the bench, and he only played a couple minutes last night in a blowout. He's still somebody that you can save for the playoffs down the stretch and just annoy the hell out of their best scorer.
Yeah.
He can come in for 7 minutes and just annoy that. Like, Chris Paul sees Jose Alvarado like everywhere he goes on a court, right? And, like, that's what he can give you. So I know he's not right now, and there might be a time where he does find himself back in the rotation. He's not now, but I still think he can have some value. And, again, when you have a roster like this, and we've talked about it, that's got so much talent, everybody can understand their roles. And if those roles are defined, then you can thrive in those roles, which looks like the Pelicans are doing now.
Well, and don't forget, guys, like Matt Ryan is still on this team. He's hurt right now. You know, he had that elbow procedure in early December. He was shooting 47% from three in the 13 games he had played this year. He was out 6 to 8 weeks. He should be back in the next couple of weeks. So that's another option that can play defense, that can shoot threes for you off the bench.
So Fluck up. Oh, the other big news. Amazon purchasing it's either Diamond Head or the Diamond Sports Group, which means that Prime will now carry the games that Bally's used to show. But so last night, though, I found the game on Prime. It said it was blacked out. I don't know if that's a Baton Rouge thing or if it's just the deal is so early that it hasn't gone through yet. Also, some were saying that even with the WVUE deal that's going to be this Friday, that it's kind of maybe tough to get in Baton Rouge. So I'll
be
kind
on WAFB, right? Did we have the map? Did we ever pull that up?
I thought it would be, but some were saying that the last one wasn't. So we'll
maybe that's moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
And again,
I'll report back.
I was able to watch the game last night.
I'm also trying to go to shut up.
Don't know if you know that.
You support bad business. Congratulations.
I support the Pelicans.
Yeah,
I literally changed my fandom.
That you're giving Bally's money as they rape and pillage the Pelicans fan base?
I changed my fandom for you. Did I not?
Not for me. You did it for you.
For me?
Yeah. You were a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you told
Knicks suck again. Don't they?
They're like, okay.
Okay.
They're about 500.
Okay.
But you were like, hey, you know, we're on in New Orleans. It's our state team. When you picked a team, there wasn't a team here, but you need to support the state team. And I said, you know what, T-Bob, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm going
to
I
was right. You didn't do it for me. You did it because I was right.
Yeah, for you.
No. You
I trusted that you were going to be right. Look, the bottom line is I'm a Foxhole guy. You're not, okay?
What?
There you go. There's your map. Yeah, so that's
I can't read any of that.
Okay, put it on this screen back here.
What's it say? What's it say for Baton Rouge?
T-Bob needs to go to Williamson.
I do, bro. My eyes are getting so bad. But it's kind of nice because
I'll be like a weatherman, okay?
Anymore.
Yeah, so right here, WAFB,
oh, okay,
Baton
cool.
Rouge,
There we go.
okay? You've got New Orleans, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Alexandria, Biloxi. So Alexandria, KALB, right? CW. Yeah. Up in Shreveport, KSLA. Up in the Arklatex. We talked about that yesterday.
Arklatex.
Up in Monroe, you can catch it as well. So it kind of gives you a map of what channel the Pels will be on in your city and also into Mobile.
Arklatex me back. Next.
You never text back.
On OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552. CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552. Take advantage of 50 years of experience. The Payne family's been in this game for half a century, y'all. But they've created a painless process when it comes to fixing your plumbing problems. The fleet at Central Plumbing is massive, meaning they can service your needs. That's why they have the 24/7 emergency service. Weekend, weekday, holiday, doesn't matter. Everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured because, of course, this ain't amateur hour. They send you information ahead of time about who's coming into your home and the flat rate pricing, so there's no surprise or hidden fees tacked on at the end. None of that BS. Only dealing with that BS. Getting it out of your toilet. I don't know. CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552. Probably shouldn't let a bull defecate in your toilet anyway. Like you were
That's
kind of
what I was hoping. I was hoping you'd find your way there. Find your way to CentralPlumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. We'll recap LSU and Ole Miss from the PMAC and chat with Chris Blair, the LSU Sports Radio Network. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
My sweater is on backwards and inside out, and you say how appropriate.
Yeah, Mickey.
I don't want to dissect everything.
Put your sweater on normally. Spit out your gum.
Yeah, first spit out your
gum. Speak to us like adults. Again, though, I do kind of like the gum thing from like just a pure ASMR standpoint. I like that.
He had the energy of the old guy that thinks he knows everything and calls everybody champ.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, champ.
Yeah, I was prepared for this question.
We all know a guy like that.
You stepped right into my trap. You ever heard of Bill Belichick?
Yeah, I have. Have you ever heard Dennis Allen? Probably not outside of New Orleans.
Yeah, if you ever heard of Dennis Allen, it's actually the best.
Because Oakland scrubbed that from the memory.
Yeah, just poll NFL fans, have you heard of Dennis Allen? And I think you'll be shocked at the numbers. That'd be a fun game. You poll NFL fans and you just go through the coaches, like maybe like coach, not a coach, see which coach would have the lowest name recognition.
Ooh. I think that Dennis would score pretty high.
I have a coach that I just remembered about yesterday that's a college coach. He's not a current coach. But this man coached in a national championship, and I bet you don't remember him at all. How can I do this without giving it away? I'll just say it this way. Who coached Oregon in a national championship?
Chip Kelly.
No.
Oh, it was Mark.
I know the name.
Oh, my God. Mark starts with an H.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, say it.
It's Mark Helfrich.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? What happened to Mark Helfrich? He coached in a Natty.
I think he was there like 3 years. So he took over after Kelly left, right? He was like the assistant that they promoted. He was there like 3 years. After that Natty, he fell apart. And
He was an Oregon man.
I think Cristobal was the one that replaced him.
No, he
Willie
was, but he
Taggart.
only had like one bad
true. Taggart for like a year,
But he
right?
only had like one bad year. But I mean, but everybody, I just assumed too that it was Chip Kelly that made that Natty and lost. No, it was Mark Helfrich.
Yeah, Helfrich.
But where's he now?
That's a great question.
How do you coach for a Natty and then just completely disappear like that?
Did he owe anybody money?
Like we still know what Gus Malzahn has going on.
I think he's still coaching.
I guess he won one.
He was the Chicago Bears OC from 2018 to 2019 after being out of coaching for 2 years.
Oh, wow. And what now?
Nothing.
Hour 3 next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com for life's unexpected moments. Patient Plus is there for you and your family. Look, explore the Patient Plus membership. See if it's for you. You can pay a flat fee for the entire year, in which you'll get a bundled discount, or you can pay per month. But while you remember, you get free unlimited visits. Remember, if you go even twice in a calendar year, you are coming out ahead. So you got cold, flu, stomach ache, ear infection, whatever the case may be, something weird going on. There's a Patient Plus near you, and they got all the testing, and the facilities and the technology inside the facilities going to blow you away. Plus, I love that puppet mascot. It's a good mascot, y'all. Patient Plus Urgent Care.
I didn't know where you were going to go with that, but
It's
I know
a
where
good
the people should go. They should go to Patient Plus. Become a member today with unlimited visits, as T-Bob said, for only $20 a month. PatientPlusUC.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, January 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 64. In hour 3 of the show, we'll continue to talk some LSU football, and LSU chef Michael Johnson joins us for our Munchie segment at 9:15. If you miss hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
So you're just going to say good morning. And
Yeah.
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Are you wishing me a good morning? Are you saying that it's a good morning, whether I want it or not? Are you saying that you feel good this morning? Or are you saying that this is a morning to be good on, Taylor? Explain yourself.
Well, we do the
Tyler.
same thing every morning, and this is the first time you've questioned it, but I guess it's just telling everyone good morning.
What a lot of things you use good morning for. I'm sorry, that's one of my favorite quotes from The Hobbit. When Gandalf walks up to Bilbo, it's a beautiful day, and Bilbo's like, hey, good morning. And Gandalf hits him with that, like, whoa, bro, relax, dude. I don't know, man. I was just being polite, saying good morning.
Nobody quotes The Hobbit.
I've never even seen it.
I don't know if the full exchange is in the movie, though. The first Hobbit movie, some of the strongest stuff is the Shire stuff, the unexpected party with the dwarves. Riddles in the Dark is fantastic. There's some high points in there.
Unexpected party with dwarves sounds
It's an all-time good scene. Yeah. Hopefully that'll be me Saturday night.
They do like to
Probably
drink.
don't- Yeah, I was about to say they probably have like a low tolerance though. Like they probably get drunk super fast.
Well, I can't speak to real life.
Yeah.
But in fantasy, generally, dwarves are known for being quite stout when it comes to drinking.
Okay.
They're really able to throw them back.
Let's not
Dang,
pretend that
they're
you
so
didn't
little,
save.
Yeah, but like dwarves in fantasy, though, are small, but they're solid. They're thick like the earth, like rock.
Okay.
Strong lad. Although, to be fair, in Two Towers, you saw it. Legolas drank Gimli under the table, didn't he? But, elves and Lord of the Rings are immortal, so they're kind of come from a
Where are you going Saturday?
Nowhere. I was just.
Because Alondra said, partying with dwarves or whatever, and you're like, well, hopefully that'll be me on Saturday, just passing.
We said an unexpected party.
An unexpected.
So I would
Stephen
love,
Hawking would love that.
I would love nothing more than to be. I would love nothing more than to be sitting at home and get a knock on the door, and there's Dwalin and Balin and Ori and Nori and Dory and Owen and Glowin and just the whole squad. Feely and Keely. Biffer, Bofer, Bomber. Hell. Gimli shows up. So I hope that a bunch of dwarfs show up to party at my house Saturday, but I don't think it's going to happen. But neither did Bilbo.
Did you invite any?
No, but neither did Bilbo.
It's true.
Exactly. And a very fine morning for a pipe of tobacco out of doors into the bargain. I have no idea what into the bargain means, but I love that phrase. Welcome into hour 3 of OTB. We got Munchies coming up next, which is great because we've had a lot of rice talk going on in the chat over the past few minutes. How do you cook your rice? Are y'all rice cookers or stovetop people?
I don't have a rice cooker.
Stovetop.
Yeah, so
boil
I just
the water.
stovetop it.
Yeah, me too.
Put the water or put the rice in. Yeah.
What kind of
So let it
ratio
sit
y'all
there.
generally use? I know every rice will give you somewhat different instructions, but
It's like 2 cups to a cup of rice.
a lot of people do 2 to 1. I find
Yeah.
that I do more 1.5 to 1.
Yeah.
I get a little over 1.5 to 1. And then, like you said, wash your rice, get the water boiling, drop the rice in, all the way down to simmer, cover, 20 minutes, bada bing, bada boom,
Yeah.
heat off,
Jasmine
let
rice.
it sit.
Typically for me.
Hey, I like that supreme rice.
Got it.
My boy Otter and Hanny got me on that supreme jasmine.
Nobody pushes anything like Hanny pushes supreme rice.
That's what I'm saying.
He got
Slinging
me.
rice.
He got me.
Got me?
It's like, I guess it's because I never really thought about rice that much. And then so when I first heard the commercial, I was like, okay, that's the answer.
I love rice.
Rice is only good for 24 hours. I mean, if you put it in the fridge, it'll last a couple days. But really,
Yeah.
but you never want to. You're never going to get rice good again, so you just do fried rice
Right.
with your leftover
Yeah,
rice.
that's
the point
exactly
of it.
what I do,
Yes, that's the point of it. Basmati rice. I don't know. I guess I always do jasmine. I don't really know the differences of rices. Nacho Man, when you want to eat 1,000 of something, rice is the way to go. I mean, rice is incredible because it's almost like eggs in its versatility. It can be anything. It can be the star of the show. It can be the only piece of the meal. It can be an excellent support member of the meal. It can be a garnish. It can work in casserole. Like, rice is one of the most versatile foods in human history. Gotta be.
I think so.
I mean, eggs would maybe be the only one that I think would maybe be more. Mark says rice is bacteria traps, only 24 hours and throw it out if you're playing roulette. But what if you wash it first? That's
Potatoes are versatile.
I mean, we'll ask Chef. Yeah, potatoes are very versatile as well. Same deal. Great in a support role, great in a starring role, can be used. I guess, that makes sense. They're both starches, so they can be used in very similar fashion. I mean, hell, last night, we had some baked potatoes that we left in a little extra long, crispied them up, and I just ate them things like apples.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just got out some salt and just sprinkled some salt on them, just munched down a couple. So good.
I love a good potato skin.
God, I'm hungry.
Happens every week. We hadn't even gotten the chef yet.
I love sweet potato. Like, if we're talking potatoes, I love sweet potatoes. Yeah. But, like, I don't do the cinnamon thing because I don't like cinnamon.
What?
So, yeah,
You
I don't like cinnamon.
No.
No.
That's a
What, like,
character flaw.
You're saying
dang, really?
You're saying it's
Cinnamon's great.
Is cinnamon a thing? 'Cause,
Sin.
like,
I'm just kidding. I like cinnamon.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's been
I just don't like it.
Yeah, cinnamon's.
Is cinnamon
Someone
a
told
thing?
me.
Cinnamon's a
Well,
thing.
like,
Yeah.
someone
Is cinnamon
told
a
me.
thing? What do you
Well,
mean?
because one time I said I
Entire
didn't
wars
like.
have been fought over cinnamon.
That's
It's
fair.
like one of those like
That's fair.
spices back in the day that I'm sure people would like kill their cousins for.
Well, somebody one time I said I didn't like cinnamon, and they said that I should get my Mexican card revoked for that. But like,
Oh,
I
really?
didn't. Yeah, like I
actually didn't know that there was a lot of cinnamon in Mexican cuisine.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I
can go
mean,
to
I
the-
didn't know that. Yeah, I
to
didn't
the,
know it
Mexican
was a-
grocery stores, and they'll have they have. I guess now that you say that, okay.
I mean, I don't know how much I know about real Mexican cuisine. I mean, I know Tex-Mex, and certainly I've actually been to Mexico quite a few times.
Same.
But
I've never been to the nice parts though. Like I've never been to like the touristy parts.
see, I've
of
never been to
Mexico.
like the real part.
I'll take you.
I've only been to the touristy part. So I would like to experience some of that. But yeah, I mean, mainly I'm just eating like street tacos and
Yeah.
other food that I do kind of recognize already here in the States. So I wonder where the cinnamon would come into play.
My mom makes this thing, and I guess it's rice pudding, but she puts cinnamon in it.
Oh, okay.
And like that's a thing, but I don't know.
I
just don't like it. It's
No,
just
but I
not
mean,
good.
sweet potatoes are good. But I mean, again, they function a little differently from a potato to me.
Yeah.
They're very
for sure.
good, but I don't think I don't think it's just a 1-to-1 substitute. They have to be used in different ways. I will say, like those purple Japanese sweet potatoes, them things is sweet. You got like some little butter. It almost seems like they have butter I guess it's sweet, but it feels like they almost have butter built into them.
So, Alondra, does that mean you don't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah, what's
No,
the
I
deal?
don't like cinnamon.
What?
I don't like cinnamon.
In
Like,
Sam
That's
Hill.
the best cereal that's ever been made.
that is
You talk about cereal milk.
Not
Ugh.
true.
Yeah, no, like
Lucky Charms are pretty great.
Oh,
Okay, Lucky
gross.
Charms are dog food with marshmallows in them.
Yeah. Well, I thought the dog food part was the marshmallows.
I mean, it might be all of it.
Lucky Charms hurt my teeth in the way that
I'm not going to turn a bowl down, but I don't think they're
I'm just not a big cereal person, to be honest, because I'm not a big milk person.
Oh, my.
So.
Jake, you'll really hate this one. Okay,
Milk's the best beverage that there is.
I love cinnamon in
Dr.
anything.
Pepper is better.
Oh,
but I'm still not.
Are you a Hester child?
I love Dr. Pepper.
No, so I love cinnamon. I like anything cinnamon flavored is for me.
Yeah.
I still don't love Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
And I love cinnamon.
Sometimes you say things that make me want to punch you in the face.
Yep.
And that is one of them.
That's one. I've never actually had that feeling until right now.
I had it when he said he didn't like Napoleon Dynamite.
If I had to make like a top 5 cereal, I don't know if I'd put it in
but
there.
what's crazy is I feel like 90% of people are just going, okay, well, CT Crunch obviously. It's like if I ask you the best coach in college football is right now, you're like, okay, well, Kirby Smart, and then it gets interesting after that. Like, that's kind of how I view cereal. It's like, well, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Now,
let's talk about the others.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's like my second favorite. Ooh, what would my second favorite be? You know me, I'm kind of basic in terms of I like basic things really well done. I mean, am I going to go Frosted Flakes?
They're great.
With some banana?
Jump?
Literally.
Little Thurl Ravenscroft?
Yeah.
Shout out Thurl.
Fruity Pebbles are great.
Fruity Pebbles are really
Pebbles
good.
are great.
I'm getting attacked.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
Frosted Mini Wheats are
Someone
great.
said I should be fired. I
said
know,
Lucky
nowhere.
Charms over Lucky Charms over Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Dang.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the texture of the marshmallows makes me feel like when I think about a fork on a plate. Or
like scratching.
Or the worst is when you have a number 2 pencil and you would get through the eraser and the metal rubs on the wood. It makes your molars hurt. That's what just the thought of Lucky Charms marshmallows.
No, I don't like Lucky Charms. But no, like I don't dislike Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's just not my favorite. I'm not.
Give me your top
crazy.
5 cereals.
So see, I love the chocolate. So I'm going Cocoa Krispies number 1.
Okay, look,
Cocoa
hold on.
Krispies with bananas.
We can all put together top 5 cereal lists. And
should we do it? I mean,
we can come back with them.
This feels like this group hasn't really been able to ever do a strong tier list. Like we've never done it actually. I don't. Taylor, have we done a tier list with you?
Yeah, I did.
We
all
have
the ones
done.
over
No,
the summer.
we just had a lighter tier list season because baseball was awesome.
That's true.
And
Well,
so
Elijah, I
they
know,
ate
has
into
not
the
been
tier list
able.
season.
No,
She's
not
come in,
bad.
I think, when we've been doing them, but never been.
We
a part
could
of
do an
one.
advanced tier list tomorrow if we wanted to on cereal, or we could just make Alondra give us her top 5 cereals and Taylor since
Well, I'm
her
saying
takes
we've
are so
done
awful.
cereal, I think, tier lists before, but we can maybe get a tier list together.
Like, it's like revisiting an old movie, There's room for the classics. You want to debate whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich, right? That's what I'm
it's
saying.
a protein
you can
between
revisit
two
these
pieces
things.
of bread. Yeah, it's a sandwich.
It's like every single Christmas we start talking about Die Hard and whatnot. So yeah.
It doesn't change. It's still a Christmas movie. So I get your point.
Raisin Bran's really good. Raisin Bran's
Raisin
in my
Bran
top
is
5.
really good.
Easily in my top 5.
Love raisins.
Actually, Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds, probably my second favorite.
Look, they've got a new line of Cheerios that's basically like Honey Bunches of Oats, but better. You need to try them.
It seems a little disrespectful that you act like somebody's just going to walk up on Honey Bunch's block and beat him at their own game.
But if somebody's going to do it, Cheerios, been in this business for a long time.
Plain ass Cheerios?
No.
Yeah,
Honey
tell
Nut
me on
Cheerios
how
at
heart
minimum.
healthy you are.
Very.
Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios do the same thing to your heart. Keep it healthy.
Yeah.
Dude, the cereal
How
game,
did I
like,
die? I ate Honey Nut Cheerios every meal.
Listen, if there's
How
ever
that was what went wrong.
like if we're talking like Star Wars and Lord of the Ring movies, like that's T-Bob's. Like he will give you a master class of all of that.
That's true.
Cereal's mine.
That is true.
I eat a
Jake
bowl
is-
every single night before I go to bed. I'm gonna take this.
So you got away from that for a little while. Are you back on it?
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Okay, hell yeah. Good to see you return to your roots. All right, when we get back, let's talk to Chef Michael Johnson, who answers your culinary queries. Get your munchies questions in the chat. More Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Coleman Roofing and Construction. Look, I want you to put Coleman to the test, okay? Because Coleman Roofing and Construction is not only the most reliable and respected roofing company in Louisiana, but they are the most complete roofing company in Louisiana, both in terms of where they service, anywhere throughout the state and the entire Gulf South region, in terms of the projects that they do, any residential work, any commercial project, no matter how big, and in terms of like what roof you actually need, right? New Orleans slate, terracotta shingles, whatever. Put them to the test. Get that custom metalwork, gutters, the interior. It's all there for you. You need to choose Coleman Roofing and Construction.
Yeah, the absolute best in the roofing game. That's like, the obvious statement here, but don't forget about the construction part of what T-Bob just said. Outdoor kitchens, remodels, renovations, home additions, right? They can handle all of that as well. Truly a one-stop shop and throughout the state of Louisiana. Go to their website today to find that information and get your appointment set, colemanroof.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. The latest on the Saints OC search, and we'll recap LSU Ole Miss and hoops and Pels Hornets. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, Hour 3. It's Thursday, 9:15, which means it's time for Munchies with our guy, Chef Michael Johnson. Chef, what's happening, bro?
Morning, T-Bob. How are you?
Doing great, man. Alabama's on fire. It's awesome. Absolutely loving it. I mean, just loving the college football news cycle. And what's funny, because we're big people, we haven't even made fun of him yet today, guys. How about that?
Yeah.
Like, we literally have not mentioned the fact that Caleb Downs, Caden Proctor, both left yesterday. Alabama fans are in shambles. Somehow how broken the sport is. God, it's fantastic to see. Chef, we were just talking rice.
Okay.
If I wash my rice, how long is it okay to keep in the fridge where I can still use it as like fried rice? Not to heat up again, but like to use it as fried rice.
Yeah, maybe 3 days. Rice is cheap to come by. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
I don't, and you can get sick from eating rice left over and sat out. It can make you really ill. Even after some time in the refrigerator, it's just not one of those things that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, rice is cheap to come by. It cooks quick and easy. It's really, to me, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? I'll throw it in the trash or feed it to the dog and go about my business and, make some new rice. So
Can't hide money, and Chef showed me that. Jeez.
Well, I mean, look, to be fair,
He said, yeah. He's like, yeah.
Every time. I mean, you got everybody like rice. There's a reason why rice has sustained entire populations of ancient countries, right? A little rice goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could
that little grain hits your belly and swells up 3 or 4x. You know what I mean? Like there's been more than a few times I've had rice coma after eating a bowl of gumbo or something. Yeah.
Hashtag munchies. What is the secret to cooking fluffy, non-mushy, long grain rice? It seems like I either add too much water and they're mushy or not enough and they're grainy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a potato to some degree. Like you almost want to cook it a little bit underdone and then fluff it and add some cold water back in so you want it to steam a little bit outside of and I guess that depends on your methodology too. So we use a steamer. Some people will use a stovetop. So if you're using the stovetop, you don't screw with it. First of all, you don't want to continuously pull the top off and on, because every time you do that, you impact the temperature inside, and it has to, you're prolonging the temperature. You really just want to leave it sit still over a low heat with steam, cooking the rice, and then pull it a little bit early, kind of like pasta. That's al dente.
Oh.
And then once you pull it, fluff it, and pour a little bit of cool water back into it to slow that cooking process. And that cold water will absorb in, just slowly. And then, I don't know, I think it's the best methodology. Also, if you need to stop your rice from cooking quickly, you got to get it out of the hot pan and into a cold pan. And you can take some cold water, shock it, and then pour that cold water off of it so that, it's not absorbing back in and going to make it sloppy and messy.
Okay, whoa, okay, so you hit me with a million different things here that I want to try to remember. So pull it early from the heat, you're saying, like pull a little early, I get that, but are you then, because I've always let it sit, like when I turn the heat off, I let it sit covered for 10 minutes because I don't want to take the top off. I want to let it keep cooking, right? So when I turn that heat off, what's my first step then?
So what I'll do is I'll fluff it and splash a little bit of cool water in there.
Right when I turn the heat off.
Well, when you take it off the heat and put it onto a counter or something, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Hashtag munchies. Quick switch from rice to pasta. Do you rinse your pasta, and how much water is the right amount?
I don't rinse my pasta unless it's fresh pasta where it's not coming out of a box. It's like it's handmade fresh pasta.
Right.
I might do that because they put a little extra flour on the outside of it so that it doesn't stick together. But pasta water, kind of similar. You don't too much water. And here's the reason: is I like to keep my pasta water to add back into sauces. So if you have too much water, it's not going to be that flavorful pasta water that you're looking for. And if it's too little water, you're going to have gummed up pasta. So I think similarly to rice, you want enough water in there to cover, a couple fingers worth or maybe 3 fingers worth, so that, you have enough water to cook the pasta. But it's going to be reducing down, and in that reducing down, you're going to get the consistency out of the pasta water that you want. It's going to, the pasta water, when you put it back into your sauce, should be slightly thick, almost viscous. Like there's.
I've been doing it wrong all this time. I've been way over watering here.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, look, you can use as much water as you want, but for me, I like that pasta water. I use that pasta water, and that pasta water. Yeah. So if you're going to use that pasta water, you want it at the right amount, and just 2 or 3 fingers over the pasta so that you're getting enough liquid with, and not too much liquid with the pasta itself. With the
Well, it's like I always throw a third of a cup in the red sauce with the noodles right afterwards to finish the cooking.
Yeah.
But here I am using liquid
Thinned
pasta
out.
water. Yeah, thin little weak water. Little weak water boy over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Hashtag munchies. Mark Cumbie says, tell Chef thank you for the knife recommendation.
Yeah.
Got a Meeson. I don't know if I'm correct that incorrectly, but got a Meeson for my son for Christmas. Had it personalized, and he loves it. So
Yeah, they're
shout
good
out,
knives.
Chef. Hashtag munchies. Marshmallows or whipped cream on top of your hot chocolate?
Ooh, man, that's tough. I don't know. I grew up marshmallows, but I'll take whipped cream just because it's fatty. That I'm not going to complain about either one. My childhood kind of brings out the emotion of marshmallows, though.
Hashtag munchies. Do y'all have smaller sets of Do y'all have smaller sets of cooking utensils for students like T-Bob with little hands to cook with? Glad everybody thinks it's so funny. You better, because if I hurt myself using a big knife, Chef, your ass is sued.
Is it like the little shrimp
Know
fork?
that.
Is that T-Bob's normal size
I'm
fork?
going to have Gordon on that ass if you don't give me an appropriately sized knife.
The best part of that question was when T-Bob kind of stalled and realized the question that he was asking and had to move forward with it.
And he knew he had to. He knew he had to continue to move forward.
Well, it's not one of the ones that ended in like something too messed up. So yes, there's been plenty of questions that I do have to stop. I'll bite the bullet on that one. Hashtag munchies. Don't know if this has been asked before, but what is Chef's favorite king cake flavor?
We asked that last week, but they have like a turtle, a chocolate turtle, I think that is what they call, but it's chocolatey and nutty, and it's got a little liqueur in it too that I really like.
Hashtag munchies. Can I get a quick seafood bisque recipe? And then he finishes with of description. So I don't know what he means at the end there. I don't know. Is that too hard of a question? That's like a is there
quick
such thing
seafood
as a
bisque
quick?
is kind of an oxymoron.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that that's kind of impossible.
Hashtag
Quick
munchies.
Bisque quick.
I
Bisque quick.
will say this is that seafood, if like I like to buy my crawfish and my shrimp with the shells on, and then crush them down in the bottom of a pan to make a stock, and you sweat those shells in oil, and it toasts the shell, and then you make your stock for the bisque from those toasted shells, and it brings out a more profound flavor. Like, instead of just throwing shells in water and boiling them, if you sweat them in oil first and saute them down there with your veggies, it'll bring out a better flavor in your
So
stock.
it's the same like kind of thing that you do with the chicken bones, where you put them in the tomato
Yeah.
paste and you brown those. Okay.
Yeah, well, you do those in the oven, but you can do the shells in the bottom of the pan that you make your stock in. Oil, down with the mirepoix. Yeah.
Hashtag munchies. What's the best meal to make with fried gizzards?
I just eat fried gizzards straight, brother.
Say, yeah, me too. Yeah, fried gizzards
I will
are,
say this,
great.
though.
I didn't
I do
love
like
them the one time
I do
I
like
had
the
them.
oh man, I love them.
I
My
do
dad,
too.
the dirty gas station gizzards are the best too. Like you got to go to the hole in one.
Oh yeah, there's one right on Cross Lake in Shreveport that has incredible gizzards.
Right next to the pickled pig's feet.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
probably.
Yeah. That kinda
Livers.
freaks
You're
me out a
gonna
little
have
bit.
some livers there too, probably.
Boy, that's the worst thing ever too. When you're eating gizzards and you're just enjoying them, and somebody sneaks a liver in there, and it just that soft, mushy. Ugh.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're going to be adjacent. Like they're going to be, in the
So
same place.
I will say this about gizzards: I like to grind them up and put them in chili sometimes, and it gives a really nice mouthfeel. Like that texture of them is really firm, kind of like sirloin steak.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Hashtag munchies. Grits or oatmeal?
I think that's going to depend on where I'm sitting at. If I'm in my mama's kitchen, I'm going to eat oatmeal. If I'm in my house down here with my children, it's going to be grits. I can eat both. I grew up on oatmeal, but I've definitely developed a deep love and appreciation for grits. I will say this: I like savory grits better than sweet grits.
Yes,
and I like sweet oatmeal versus savory oatmeal.
Very well said.
Yeah.
They represent two different things to me, like in my mind, because of that reason. Like I never think of them being as substitutes for one another.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Chef, would that mean that you're too gritty to be pretty?
That's
I'm pretty gritty.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
What?
And my jokes are bad? Okay, dude. Okay.
You obviously don't listen to Off Campus.
Stupid big hands. Do you listen to Snaps?
Yeah.
What?
How many times have I told you?
No, that's
I
like
heard
an
you
Instagram
say,
clip. That's like an Instagram clip.
That's how
or
everybody
something.
takes it in,
yeah,
right?
I know.
Get out of here. You didn't even know the name of the show.
Oh my God, that was forever ago, dude.
Chef, you're gritty. He's not. Don't worry.
Hashtag Munchies. The wife wants a new set of pots and pans. What do you recommend?
Actually, that Meissen makes some pretty good stuff as well.
Really, Meissen. Sorry.
Or Made In makes some really good stuff. If you're buying stuff at the house, I bought my daughter a whole set of those Meissen pots last year, and she absolutely loved them. The thing about it, they're built well with good metal, but they're affordable too. They're not super overpriced. If you're wanting bougie, high-priced, really high-end, excellent pans, All-Clad makes those, and you can expect to spend several $1,000s on them. And they're exceptional.
What?
They're like copper core, stainless steel, like aircraft, or surgical stainless steel and stuff. And, they're made with these incredible materials and they cook exceptionally well. But for the price of them, brother, you have to take out a mortgage on them, pretty much. So, the Made In is pretty good. And so are the Meissen. They're really, really good, industrial strength pots and pans.
All right, Chef, this one's not from the chat. It's from me. My children love, Campbell's chicken noodle soup. They absolutely love it. They can go through, so many cans in a day. It's not the worst thing that you can eat, but I was thinking, I want to try to replicate that and make it, as a homemade chicken noodle soup, kind of in the same vein, of what Campbell's chicken noodle soup is. What would you use? What would be your process if you were trying to replicate that, the old school chicken noodle soup from Campbell's?
So here's the thing, Jake. My grandma used to make homemade chicken noodle soup, and it was nothing like Campbell's. But I will tell you this, when somebody goes to the trouble of making homemade noodles and putting it into their chicken soup, and cooking a chicken and pulling the chicken from the bone and putting all that time and energy into it, that was part of the process for me. I loved watching my grandmother work in the kitchen, and it can be dad. You know what I mean? It equates to, I think even children, appreciate that time unless they're hungry, and it's like, what are you doing, Dad? You know what I mean? But I think I would start with homemade noodles. Flour, egg, and water, and make some homemade noodles. Roll them out thin, and cut them so that the noodles are homemade, and get the bone, the chicken on the bone, and cook it, and then pull it. I think that if you're doing it from scratch, it just makes a difference, man. It's something that cooks from inside of you, and then it really does make a difference.
So what would your stock be? What would the broth be? How would you go about that?
I mean, if that, I might just buy if you're in such a pinch, the stock in a box that has a little plastic screw top lid, there's nothing wrong with that stuff, man. It saves you the problem of having to actually make the stock.
Yeah.
And if it's a better stock than what you can make, then use it. But I use those stocks just because, and I hate to say this on the radio, people are going to judge me for it, but that more than not more than gourmet, it's better than or something. They're little jars that they have some decent chicken stock. That the first thing that's on it is chicken instead of salt, and if you're buying a bouillon cube or something like that, first thing that it's going to say is salt. You want to steer clear of that.
Yeah, I don't know why, man. I really suck at stocks. I don't know what it is. I got to figure it out. I've made one good one time, then I've screwed up the past few that I've tried to make, which you shouldn't be able to.
Well,
it's supposed to be hard to do.
That's why there's nothing wrong with buying the bouillon or the broth off the shelf. You know what I mean? If somebody else can do it better than you can, the stock, that's only one part of it. I think the pasta, cutting the carrots and sweating the carrots and getting them down and tender, and celery and everything else, that's just part of the process. And when you cook from inside, man, it comes out in the food.
Last one here, Chef. Hashtag Munchies. Room temperature ribeye first or straight from fridge to grill?
Whew. in all reality, room temperature. I like to rest mine.
Yeah.
And what happens is if you take it from the fridge to the grill, it takes the temperature of the grill down and it plummets, and then like the fats loosen up, and it does. It prolongs the process further than it needs to. Not only that, I like to bring my steak out and season it while it's chilling to room temperature, and the salts absorb into the meat. The meat, kind of the liquids in the meat kind of pulls out and liquefies the salt, and there's this exchange there that happens that I think is necessary.
Last one here. Actually, I lied. Chef, can Chef hoop, or what was Chef sport in high school?
Gosh, it's funny you ask that. I have hooped before.
Oh?
I'm not very good at it.
I
played.
I have money.
So I was a wrestler in high school, and and I don't have money. Don't worry about that. I was just responding. I wrestled in high school, and in order for me to maintain being able to wrestle, you had to compete in sports in opposing seasons. So I couldn't play football because I was too small. I was like 4'8" my freshman year.
What?
Say what?
I
You're
swear
a
to God.
big dude now, Chef. That's
what?
crazy.
When I got my driver's license, I was 4'8" and I weighed 97 pounds in my
What?
sophomore year. I swear to God. Yeah.
When did you start to grow? Like junior
My
year?
junior year, between junior and senior year, I grew 11 inches and put on 35 pounds.
Bro, you must have been
God.
ecstatic.
Yeah. Well, my parents were not. I mean, my shoes were like, they were buying me new shoes and new clothes every 2
God,
months.
did your bones hurt?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I had bad knees, so I ran cross country to train for. Wrestling in the spring or in the fall, and then switched to soccer my senior year because my high school had soccer for the first year, my senior year, and then in the spring, I played golf. We had a golf team, and I actually played tennis a couple of years there because my wrestling coach said that it was good for like stamina and longevity and such. And so it was a tough sport, to be honest with you, man. A lot of people are going to laugh at me saying that I played tennis, but
tennis
that's a
is
tough
awesome.
sport.
I've gotten bit by the tennis bug here these last few months.
Yeah.
It's very, very fun.
It's a fun sport. Yeah.
How terribly refined of you, Chef. A little golf, a little tennis. Yes.
I digressed a little bit there, but the basketball question, my junior year, my wrestling coach, I showed up for cross country. He was the cross country and the wrestling coach, and I showed up late, and he made me do bear crawls across the gymnasium for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I got really pissed about it, and so I went out for basketball that season instead of wrestling. And I sat the bench on JV the entire season. Like I was the 1 minute wonder, at the end of the game, at this 1 minute left, you're like, get in there, Johnson. Yeah.
Oh man, Chef, I love this so much every single week. Munchies, your guy, Executive Chef for LSU Athletics, Chef Michael Johnson. Thank you, man. You have a great day.
Take care, guys.
Later, bro. All right. Okay, Survive is sounding the alarms, saying, anyone see this tweet from David False on Twitter? Anybody got news on this? Alarm, alarm, alarm. Freaking galactically awesome news regarding LSU baseball coming today. Like, no joke. Stay tuned. Huh. All right. Let's see if we can find anything on it. More coming up next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Community Steel Company. CommunitySteelCo.com. CommunitySteelCo.com is the website. If you need purlin, tubing, sheet metal, any steel buildings, you want Community Steel. They're in Gonzales, Louisiana, okay? Right over there in Gonzales. You go get boots on the ground. You meet the people. You meet the sales team. You see the product, which is top tier at the best price point. Because there is no middleman jacking up the price, right? It's directly from the wholesaler to you, the consumer. But I really love the local angle because the people, like that's what separates them. And you're not dealing with national companies where it's somebody over the phone or an online order form or anything like that. These are people that know you, know your business, know your needs. Take advantage. Community Steel Company.
Yeah, go to their website, CommunitySteelCo.com. In the top right corner, right, it says Community Steel. You click on that. It shows you exactly where they're at. In Gonzales, if you want to drop by the showroom today. Also, 225-647-2020 is that number. Call them today, CommunitySteelCo.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties, so retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Sandgriff joined me and Jimmy out for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch. We're at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar and Town Square Pizza. Dwayne Colucci is with us along with Matt Humans. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. So, Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, 3-3 head-to-head, and about to be in the postseason for the third time last 4 years. First time Pat Mahomes is going to be hitting the road in his playoff career if it wasn't to go play for a Super Bowl. I think we'll talk a lot of NFL tomorrow. Who are y'all betting on in that game? Do you know yet? Have you looked at any NFL bets yet for this weekend?
I am going to go Texans to cover. 9.5 is that number right now for Baltimore. And then I'm going to go
9.5.
Yeah, it's 9.5 in both games.
I mean,
on Saturday.
At a certain point, if an NFL spread gets that large, out of principle, I just generally take the number, right?
Yeah. And 9.5 in the Packers 49ers game as well on Saturday.
Boy, and then those
it's
are
a hot
those
Packers team to be.
I mean, the Texans are hot too.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Two hot young teams. You know,
two hot young men leading hot young teams.
I mean, if you want, look, both underdogs do a little 2-team parlay, both of them to cover that spread.
In the Sunday games, Detroit is a
sure.
6.5-point favorite, and then the Bills are a 2.5-point favorite against the Chiefs.
Or if you're a real man, bet on the hot young teens. Or
Money line both.
Teens.
Money line both.
Little double money
Could
line
happen.
parlay.
That would pay pretty well.
Well, whatever you want to do, it's all there for you in the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Right now, if you're a new customer, you sign up, use the promo code Baton Rouge, you bet $5 on any NFL game, and win or lose, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Now, for all customers, because many of you listening are already set up, we have a no-sweat same-game parlay every playoff game day. What this means is every playoff game day, at least once, you can opt in and create a same-game parlay up to $5, right? Where if you lose, you just get that bet back. So go for broke. Go big, okay? See if you can win. If not, you get it back and you play again. So what are you waiting for? Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Promo code Baton Rouge. $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings. Promo code Baton Rouge. The crown is yours. 21 plus, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Opt-in required. One no-sweat token issued per eligible day. After opt-in, no-sweat bonus bet issued based on amount of losing qualifying bet. Eligibility, max reward, limited deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms, licensing partner, Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
A $25 bet. So if you put those two teams to win outright, $25 would pay $492.50.
Damn.
Well, I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Double money line? I ain't gonna have.
Could.
It ain't gonna happen, dog.
And the Packers are hot. And look,
even though
honestly,
ye of little faith,
there is an astronomical amount of pressure on Lamar Jackson. I feel.
Well, okay, so that's the thing. We were talking about it the other day. It's like, oh, Cousins can't win in the playoffs. Dak can't win in the playoffs. Lamar has not been good in the playoffs himself. And that's something a lot of people are talking about. 1 and 2.
Are people not talking about that? I haven't kept up with the NFL news cycle as much. I figured that would be every conversation.
Well, they are, but Dak just lost. So I guess that's why they're talking about it. But, 1 and 2, 3 touchdowns, 5 picks, and 3 career playoff games. So, he has a lot to prove. He hadn't been good in the playoffs, and C.J. Stroud's on a roll. That's not as far-fetched as you may think.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud had a better – and Jordan Love both had better playoff games than Lamar's actually had in his entire playoff career. Yeah. Who has the most pressure out of anyone?
Of these quarterbacks, Josh Allen.
Yeah, I was going to say Allen too.
Okay.
I would go Lamar, but Josh Allen for, all his regular season struggles as well.
Because Lamar's been, in the playoffs, he's just trying to stay healthy. And, this is the first time he's healthy, so maybe he won't be judged as hard. People are waiting on Josh Allen to take that step and to figure out the Chiefs and get to the promised land. And he's in the conversation of top 3, but some of the things that he does, it's hard to keep him in that top 3 because there's been a play here, play there. It seems like every game. So I feel like he's got a little bit more. Lamar's got some. There's no question about it. But
I think it's the opponent too, like you just mentioned. He can't get over the Chiefs hump. If he was playing somebody else this weekend, I'd be like, it's about even. But yeah, to get past the Chiefs, he's failed time and time again. He has the most pressure on him for sure.
Crazy. There's still so much stuff I want to talk about. We haven't even made fun of the Texas head coach for the horns down. We haven't got our top 5 cereals list, but unfortunately, we only have 1 segment left. So we'll come back with more OTB next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live in
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's up, dog? Welcome back. OTB. Okay. Do we want to get the top 5 cereals? Do we want to make fun of Horns Down, or do we want to dive into Ask the Bench?
Let's do Horns Down, then Ask the Bench.
Okay. Do we have that ready to go? Of course not, Taylor.
Jesus.
God, you
suck! I have
Jesus,
it right here. You don't
Mary,
even give me a
and
chance to
Joseph.
answer. It's ready to go.
Golly.
Like, God, we can
damn it. Put your horns down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in, you win the right way, you lose the right way. And, I always tell my guys,
the Texas coach at the UCF.
whether you win or lose, you the right way. You lose the right way, you carry yourself the right way. You don't go through the handshake line,
I think you got 3 different videos playing here. You got a classic multiple tabs situation there, Taylor.
And it also looks like
Ask
you
the
were
Bench
just
brought by
hoping to
Cold
win.
Curse Light,
We never
Music
go
Hard
into
Shelter, and Blue Moon, Lot, Sky, Citrus Sweet. It's all good. Just tell me when you're ever ready to go. Ask the Bench. Will the boys be wearing matching outfits again tomorrow? Did we do it last week?
Did we?
I don't know.
I don't know what you want.
Maybe I'll probably wear something like Rex Kwon Do.
Is it because we're matching ish today? Is that what?
I don't know. I was about to say, I don't think there's any chance y'all will be matching me tomorrow.
No, I don't think so.
The video's ready.
All right, here is the Texas coach after, again, UCF beat them and then horns down the crowd.
I'm a big believer in, you win the right way, you lose the right way. And, I always tell my guys, whether you win or lose, you win the right way. You lose the right way, you carry yourself the right way. You don't go through the handshake line or prior to getting to the handshake line and have about 6 or 7 guys putting the horns down. We don't do that, because when you do those kind of things, it looks very classless, and it also looks like you were just hoping to win. We never go into games trying to hope to win. We go into games expecting to win. So we don't act like that. We expect to win. We don't jump up and down like we won a national championship. We sure don't step on anyone's home court deal and act crazy and try to show them up in any way. We don't do that, so that's what I was angry about, and I was letting those guys know you don't do that, You guys won. Hey, we shake your hand, tip our hat to you, but we're not going to let you act that way in our building. You're not going to do that. You're not going to put your horns down and do all that nonsense.
Well, they did do it, and the thing you didn't do was win. And again, Texas has to understand, dude, this is classic older sibling stuff. Or this is classic anybody stuff. If you show that you are getting annoyed by something, people are going to troll you with it harder. So, like, it is now more open season than it's ever been to horns down the Texas men's basketball team. I will aggressively, if I was an opposing player, I would aggressively horns down them just for this moment right here.
Hey, Coach Terry.
That's soft.
You're about to go to the SEC, Bo.
That's so soft.
You're about to go into places like the Jungle at Auburn and Bud Walton. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but Texas has been spoiled. I mean, their own conference made it a penalty in football to do it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the Big 12's loaded in basketball, don't get me wrong, but SEC has a bit of pettiness that we all love. We're Tom Petty here. We love it. And so just get ready.
I just love the whole, we expect to win. But we didn't. But we expect to win, so that makes us better than you.
They're also not in the top 25.
Yeah. Hell up out of here, man. Also, who is that?
Rodney Terry?
Rodney Terry, yeah, their head coach.
Yeah, he was last year. He got bumped up from assistant to an interim coach.
When they let go of
the Beard stuff. Okay.
Yeah, and then he got the full-time job.
No, I've never heard the name Rodney Terry before this moment right now.
We were talking to
We're
a
not
break.
going to let you act like that. Well, then win. Yeah, I agree, Alvin.
We were talking to a break. Like, I don't even think horns down's that good of a troll. I just like to do it now because they get so triggered.
So I agree with that, but I do think it's like a super fun. It's so satisfying to be like, yeah. It's the most satisfying.
I guess I don't know any
hand
Texas
gesture in
fans though, so like I
football.
can't really.
Yeah, but when you see one, you know what to do.
Yeah, true.
It's great. All right, we love you. Another great day of OTB. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
AccuTemp Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. Get that service to the highest degree. Take advantage of Louisiana's best cooling, heating, and electrical company. Go look at the online reviews. Take advantage of these January deals. You buy an AC unit right now, you get a heater for free. How's that? A little BOGO. Buy one, get one. But look, if you've been in the market for a whole home generator, storm season on the horizon, get it now during January. You get $2,000 off. And they have great maintenance plans and everything else to make sure that it's ready to go when you need it. AccuTemp Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com.
Go to the website today. Schedule that appointment today. It's right there in the top right corner of the website. And we always tell you, service to the highest degree. They are going to send you a profile of exactly who is coming into your home. And you know with the reviews that it is going to be somebody that's going to get the job done the first time. Go to the website today, AccuTempBR.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected